What's going on, folks? And thank you for tuning in with me to another edition of the True Capitalist Radio broadcast. And, of course, I am your host, the man they call Ghost. And once again, folks, I want to thank you very much for tuning in with me. This is episode number 601. That's right, folks. It is episode number 601 for all the folks that are keeping track of the True Capitalist Radio broadcast. And before we get into anything else, I'd like to ask everybody who's listening to please spread this show link around like wildfire and let everybody know throughout the internets and throughout the world. Let them know that True Capitalist Radio is in effect and in the house. And we are live once again every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, 6:30 p.m. Central Standard Time, right here on the official website of the True Capitalist Radio broadcast. And by God, I love being independent now. You can go ahead and type this in your browser and make sure to add this to your bookmarks and to your favorites. Ghost.report. All right, that's all you got to type in, ghost.report. Add that to your bookmarks, add that to your favorites. It's that simple, baby. And by the way, if you have not done so, all right, if you have not done so, please follow me on my only social media representation on the internet today. As you all may have heard, Alex Jones has been permanently banned from social media, most recently YouTube. And I'm telling you, folks, this is the last bastion. Where I'm at right now is the last bastion of freedom of speech in social media today. And I'd like for you all to get a free damn account there. If you have not gotten one, I don't know what the hell you're doing. Go and type in your browser right now, gab.ai. That's Gab, folks. That's Gab, the free speech social media. And you can find me on there, all right? Make sure to follow me on Gab under the name Politics Ghost. All right, all one word, no underscores. Politics Ghost is the name to follow. And by God, I want to say what's going on to everybody in the True Capitalist Radio chat room. Now, the reason I say a big sigh when I say the True Capitalist Radio chat room, because, oh, good God, I don't know if y'all heard the ending of last Baller Friday's episode number 600, but at the end, we had a little bit of a situation going on with, I guess, Karaskin at the time, and that unfortunately escalated into a whole just complete outing of groups of people that participated in animation, pornographic material. We're going to get into that in just a second, all right? I don't want to get ahead of myself, all right? I'm just saying that I mean, if you weren't a part of the True Capitalist Radio chat room, I mean, you missed a lot. You missed a lot. And on top of just the True Capitalist Radio chat room, the inner circle, folks. We have had to purge a lot of folks from the inner circle, and it's not me. All right? I mean, it's basically the folks that are involved in these chat rooms, involved in these organizations. They have had enough, just as much as I have, of all these cartoon fetish man-children who refuse to better themselves, who remain stagnant, sitting back, waxing their carrot, being cartoon fetish man-children, not doing a goddamn thing with their lives. Now, before I get ahead of myself, and before I start talking about what I'm discussing here, I want to discuss a little bit about how you can be a part of the True Capitalist Radio chat room. And that's why I'm encouraging everybody who's listening. I mean, aside from us talking about politics, aside from us talking about cryptocurrency, international relations, social criticisms, whatever, we partake in the proverbial tomfoolery, and I would encourage all of you listening to the sound of my voice, try to be a part of the True Capitalist Radio chat room. Now, how do you be a part of it? Listen closely, all right? It's as simple as this. Go to my Gab account right now, Politics Ghost, all right? All one word, no underscores. Go to my Gab account and click the subscribe button for premium content. You see that button right there? Click the subscribe button for premium content, and once you do, go ahead and not email me, Gab me, private message me on Gab, and let me know your Discord chat name so I could give you a private invitation to the True Capitalist Radio chat room, baby. And it has been a hell of a weekend, to say the least. Now, I hope you all had a good weekend, folks. I sure as hell didn't. Now, let me go ahead and discuss what I've already preambled into the intro of episode number 601 over here. This is August 6th, 2018. And I hope that you had a good weekend, folks. I didn't, and the reason is because I had to literally be looking over all the drama that was in the True Capitalist Radio chat room that extended into the inner circle. Now, if you listen to the last episode number 600 on Baller Friday, you all heard that they found some kind of, I don't know, something in Karaskin's internet history or something, that he was partaking in some kind of, I don't know, cartoon pornography, whatever, all right? Well, that wasn't all right? Everybody was pretty much kind of going to give Karaskin a pass. Karaskin, unfortunately, got his feelings hurt and left the True Capitalist Radio chat room. I'm not too sure if he's ever coming back, but that right there was just the precursor. It was the catapult into what the hell was going to happen and transpire all this weekend, not just in the True Capitalist Radio chat room, but my inner circle. Now, what happened, folks, was, and I hate to talk about this, but I mean, you are my listeners, and I want y'all to listen to what the hell's going on here. Right now, we had somebody who was a part of the inner circle, who was a part of the True Capitalist Radio chat room, who used to relay this broadcast on YouTube, you know? YouTube, everybody's doing the YouTube. Anyway, this person happened to have been a brony. Now, we all overlooked the fact that he was a brony because he was relaying these streams and, you know, whatever. We all kind of overlooked that, right? And we overlooked that for a long period of time. Now, this person that was relaying the streams, you know, they got, you know, into what we were talking about on the show. They invested in cryptocurrency. They bought some mining contracts. I mean, they were doing what they're supposed to. The problem is that they became a brony. Now, somewhere along the line, folks, we found that this person who was relaying the stream was partaking in, I hate to say, exercising and waxing his carrot, just watching pornographic cartoon material. Now, we have, if you've been listening to the broadcast, we have kicked out a lot of folks that have partook in that kind of sick, deviant behavior out of not just the inner circle, but also the True Capitalist Radio chat room. Now, this person, we'll just call him the Brony Network, okay? This person, once it was unearthed that this person was kind of, you know, I don't know, partaking in this sick, deviant, you know, sexualization of cartoons, we confronted him, and he did what most of these guys, whenever we catch them in the midst of doing this sexual perversion, he did the proverbial, well, I'm going to change, guys, because I'm really a capitalist, and you don't understand. I'm going to just change everything. I'm going to rebrand myself. I'm not going to be a part of that, you know, brony, deviant, sick behavior. I'm not going to be a part of it. So, of course, because this guy had been a part of the whole inner circle and he'd been a part of the whole True Capitalist Army chat room, we gave him a pass, all right? We actually gave this guy a pass, and not to mention he's the infamous, you know, relay streamer of this broadcast. So we gave him a pass, and he looked at face value as if he was changing his ways. He wasn't some sick-ass, you know, man-child, for Christ's sake. This guy's, you know, almost 30 years old. I just want y'all to know this guy's almost 30 years old, okay? And he said, look, I'm done with it. I'm not going to be a part of it anymore. I'm rebranding myself. So he goes and he rebrands himself, supposedly. He supposedly, you know, kind of, you know, tries to at least project to us in the inner circle and the True Capitalist Radio chat room that he was no longer affiliated with this sick, demented, man-child cartoon fetish bullshit. Well, folks, this weekend, somebody in the True Capitalist Radio chat room, and look, these guys in the True Capitalist Radio chat room in the inner circle, they're taking it upon themselves to look for people amongst the group because they are absolutely sick of this stuff. We have exposed too many of these people, and they say the same thing. They give the same excuses. It's as if they read the same fucking script. Now, what happened this weekend is that this person, Brony Network, was caught by somebody within the True Capitalist Radio chat room on Saturday night hosting some kind of an anime live stream in which, I don't know, there was like 100 and something people in there. And on, like, in the background chat, I guess with the, there was a chat room and then there was a broadcast of some anime sick shit. And in the chat room, I guess in the background it has ponies and My Little Pony bullshit. And on the bubble caption on one of the ponies, it says, "You have to have that pony pussy, Annan," or what, something to that effect. I mean, just something that's obviously sexually perverting this My Little Pony cartoon, and this is what they were doing at night. And then when everybody else was doing their own investigation in the True Capitalist Radio chat room, they found all kinds of stuff, man. And then, it went from that character, Brony Network, to just everybody. Everybody is being looked at. Everybody, you've got people just becoming vigilantes trying to look for people that are sexualizing cartoons that are a bunch of sick-ass perverts. Now, we gave the Brony Network an opportunity to, unfortunately, everybody in the chat room, the True Capitalist Radio chat room, they wanted him out. The inner circle's a little different, you know what I mean? So we actually gave him an opportunity to be able to kind of explain to us what exactly and why exactly he was doing what he was doing. And unfortunately, he refused to take responsibility for the fact that sexualizing cartoons is something bizarre and wrong. Instead, he tried to project to us as if we were the ones with the problem, that we didn't understand his sick, demented cartoon fetish, as if we're being prejudiced against him, which reminds us of many of the other folks that we have confronted in this same capacity and have given us the same excuses. The same excuses. They're the victim. You don't understand what I'm going through. You don't understand my perspective. And let me tell you, every time, folks, and look, we in True Capitalist Radio and the True Capitalist Radio chat room and the Inner Circle, we have plenty of experience dealing with these sick, demented, autistic, cartoon fetished man-children. And every time, folks, it never fails. Every time it leads back to children. I'm not joking around. It leads back to children. And I just don't get this, folks. First of all, I don't understand why and how we have so many young people. And look, I don't want to be honest with you. Brony Network, this guy was almost 30 years old, so he's not even a young person. He's already should be in adulthood at this point in time, and yet he's out here continuing to go to BronyCon out here like he's fucking 16 years old. Now, I have continued to ask each and every one of these people that we have caught in the midst of this sexual perversion of cartoons, why is it that they do this? We ask them, why is it that they do this? And none of them can give us an actual answer. None of them know why they do it. None of them understand why they do it, but they have a compulsion. They can't help themselves. There was one guy that we caught in the True Capitalist Radio chat room. We have women in the True Capitalist Radio chat room, and one of these ladies, it's a conservative lady, tried to talk some sense into one of these anime, waxing his carrot, cartoon fetished idiots that, were part of the True Capitalist Radio chat room, and genuinely tried to have a heart-to-heart with this sick idiot. And he promised that, you know what, I think you're right. You guys are telling me the right things. I shouldn't be doing this. I shouldn't be waxing my carrot to cartoons, and I shouldn't be doing this. So I'm going to change. And I'm going to change because I want to change. I want to be better. I want to be a capitalist. All this bullshit, right? It wasn't but, a week and a half, 2 weeks, This same guy who made all these, I'm going to change it, I don't want to whack off to cartoon no more, this same character left the chat room on his own, voluntarily, and gave us a message saying, I'm sorry, TCR chat, I couldn't help it. I couldn't help it! Like this fucking cartoon sexualization fetish is a fucking, like, it's an addiction or something. And folks, I'm not saying that this is some fucking small faction of groups of freak shows. I mean, this, folks, is a good portion of the internet today. I think that folks that are under the age of 40 that are on the internet, the probability of them being fetished by cartoons is so fucking high, it's disturbing. It's fucking disturbing. Now, unfortunately, folks, because everybody in the True Capitalist Radio chat room and the inner circle has had enough, has had an absolute enough of this garbage, of this cartoon fetish nonsense, that they are taking it upon themselves to find out who else is participating in this waxing their carrot to sexualize cartoons, because we want them the hell out. I mean, everybody that's involved with these groups want them the hell out, because there's no need for that. I mean, I want to tell you, I'm going to give you inside inner circle business, okay? When we gave Brony Network the opportunity to give us a reason why, we should believe him this time, or why he's, I guess, attracted to waxing his carrot to cartoons, why he could not explain one bit, and played the victim, and, I should be able to do this. I mean, these people are this demented. They are this hooked on cartoon fetish porn. And I'm telling you this right now, folks. I'm going to be the first one to tell you, if somebody is over the age of 18 and they are fixated on cartoons that are meant for children, then I would strongly keep them away from your children. I would strongly keep them away from anyone who is innocent, because every time we've caught these people, every single fucking time, it all leads back to children. It all leads back to children, folks. And what they do, what these cartoon fetish-loving, sick, perverted assholes like to do, they like to draw young girls in animation so that they can skirt the laws of actual pedophilia and just say that it's, quote, art. And that's the number one excuse that we get from all these freaky little goddamn cartoon fetish losers that are wastes of life. We get the proverbial, well, I like the art, Ghost. The art is great. Let me tell you guys something. All of you people, Brony Network, and all you people that either gotten kicked out or gonna get kicked out of either the True Capitalist Radio chat room or the inner circle, know this. It's not my decision. It's the group's decision. And the reason is because these folks who are capitalists, who are out here making six figures, who are out here being promoted in their jobs, who are out here creating businesses, who are out here creating corporations, who are out here making big-time money moves, they don't want to be affiliated with some sick, twisted, demented, waste-of-life, cartoon fetish perverts. They don't want to be affiliated with that shit. And I hope that each and every one of you that have been rejected from the True Capitalist Radio chat room and the inner circle because you're a cartoon fetish sick maniac, remember this. I hope that you understand the shame that you're feeling when you're being completely ousted from a group because of the sick perversion that you're embracing yourself in, that you're immersing yourself in, that you're spending so much time, effort, and energy in. Do you understand? And I'm telling you, you should feel shame. You should feel humiliated. I was telling the Brony Network last night that, look, and this goes for all of you that are listening as well, that are either going to be kicked out or already kicked out. This goes for all of you, okay? Just imagine and look at yourself in the mirror how much time you've wasted on this brony, anime, hentai, cartoon fetish nonsense. Take a look at all the time, the effort, and energy. You know, the Brony Network was telling us he's done this for almost 8 years. This stupid little brony bullshit. This guy's almost 30 years old. Almost 30 years old. He's wasted his whole 20s away, sitting back, probably Pop-Tart eating, becoming obese. His insides probably look like liquid shit because he's probably just completely just gobbling food down his gullet while he's sitting back hosting anime nights and hosting brony porn nights and all this other nonsense, all this effort, energy, money into this nonsense. A waste of time. I told Brony Network that in your 20s you will never have the amount of energy, the amount of stamina, the amount of will, ambition. You will never get that back, and you should use and abuse that. You should have 1, 2, 3 jobs because you are young. You're vibrant. You've got the energy on your side. And instead, what did this guy, Brony Network, do? 7 to 8 years, commiserate with a bunch of sick, twisted idiots that fetish cartoons that are meant for little children. And as a result, that time is wasted. That time is wasted. I mean, just imagine, had you just done any kind of a job in any kind of a reputable company, you would have moved up from age 20 to 29, 28, and you would have been an assistant manager, a manager. You would have progressed. You would have at least increased your income. You would actually be responsible. You'd be making serious money. But you know something, folks? Let's be honest. I mean, these people that are completely obsessed with this cartoon fetish, and I mean, folks, these are older gentlemen. I mean, I told you, Brony Network's almost 30 years old. There are people that are 25, 35, 23. I mean, these are older men that are buying My Little Pony toys and buying little toys that are being distributed by these cartoons that are meant for children. I mean, there's something wrong with this, and I hope at this point, by this group, the True Capitalist Radio community, shunning all of you cartoon fetish idiots, I hope you learn something. I hope you learn that when you get to a real social setting in reality, when it comes to succeeding, when it comes to money, when it comes to capitalism, that no one is going to take your little sick, demented, twisted perversion serious. No one is going to take your little man-child autism serious. And you're going to be shunned. And unless you learn from this, all of you cartoon fetish idiots that were a part of the damn chat room or the inner circle, unless you learn from this, you're going to be a perpetual loser. And if you're going to be a perpetual loser, then why even continue? Why even continue if you're just going to sit there and embrace yourself in this sick, demented perversion and waste your time, waste your life? I mean, you idiots don't understand that you are a waste of life. A waste of life. I mean, that's why I was telling the Brony Network, you're almost 30. What do you have to show for yourself besides a bunch of fucking stupid little girls' toys? What do you got to show for yourself, man? You're almost 30. You should have had a bunch of opportunities to make large sums of income. You should have 1, 2, 3 jobs. You're in your 20s. You have your youth on your side. By the time you get to 30, you should have some net worth. You should have savings. You should have stocks. You should have crypto. You should have property. You should have cars. You should have gold. You should have something. Not a bunch of fucking toys. Not a bunch of sick, demented, man-child horse shit. And I hope each and every one of you that got kicked out of the True Capitalist Radio chat room, and I hope each and every one of you that got kicked out of the inner circle, I hope this penetrates your sick, demented, perverted brains. Just because you have a bunch of sick perverts on the internet that have the same sick, demented bullshit that you do doesn't make it right. Doesn't mean that people are going to accept it in real life. Don't you sick perverts understand that? Wake up, for Christ's sake. No one with any rational thinking, no one that's going to provide you opportunity, no one that is going to respect you is going to sit here and accept you sitting there waxing your carrot and sexualizing cartoons. Nor are they going to accept the fact that you're buying toys from cartoons and that you're acting like a fucking fruit bowl man-child. No one is going to accept this! No one! No one! Get that through your thick, autistic heads! Get that through your thick, autistic, dumbass heads. And I hope that you do feel some shame. All of you cartoon fetish idiots. I hope you feel some shame because you need to look at yourself in the mirror and realize all the time, effort, and energy and money you've wasted. You've wasted it. You fucking wasted it. So keep being retarded, because here in the next 20 years, you're going to be led around by the nose by those of us that actually took things serious. You're going to be the equivalent of fucking animals. Just watch. You think this is all a joke? Just watch. Morons. Anyway, give me my God. I got to drink some water, for Christ's sake. Oh, yeah. 32 days, no alcohol. Yippee-ki-yay, motherfuckers. Some high-quality H2O there. Anyway, that's it. That's all I want to talk about that. I just want to say that if you know somebody who is cartoon fetished, if you know somebody that is a man-child, berate these people, all right? I mean, spit on these people. We need to make bullying great again. Because remember, we used to beat the shit out of people like this. We used to beat it out of them. We used to beat the man-child out of these little faggots. Remember the old game Smear the Queer? Whatever happened to that shit?
Oh, no, we have to be protected by safe spaces and everything's going to be okay. And we got to take care of Billy. Are you okay, Billy? Did somebody talk to you incorrectly? Are you a little besmirched? Oh, wait a minute. Oh, Billy's about to have a meltdown. Calm down, Billy. Calm down.
Let me tell you something. These autists are lucky that I am not in a vicinity when these fucking autists are having a meltdown, because I'd be more than happy to conjure up the spirit of Ike Turner and get my pip hand strong on these autist little fucks. I'm sick of these autists, man. The majority of these autists, in my personal opinion, need to be put to sleep. And I'm tired of everybody coddling these pieces of garbage. I'm tired of it, man. They're sick, demented perverts. They're the fucking prime suspect when it comes to sexualizing cartoons. These fucking autists out here.
But let's treat them with kid gloves and...
Shut up! Anyway, folks, let me just move on with the broadcast and let's talk a little bit about the damn markets out here, since this is True Capitalist Radio. Let's talk a little bit about cryptocurrency. Now, folks, the cryptocurrency, obviously, if you're holding anything in crypto, you're seeing everything in red right now. And the reason is because the U.S. dollar continues to go up and up and up. It's up, what, 0.25% today? The U.S. dollar index is up 0.25% today. I mean, we're at 52-week highs on the U.S. dollar. And what have I said? When the U.S. dollar raises in value, you're going to see the lowering of crypto as a consequence, and that's what we're seeing right now. All right, that's what we're seeing right now. So let's go ahead and talk a little cryptocurrency, shall we? Now, the current market capitalization of the entire cryptocurrency market is $251 billion market capitalization. Let's go ahead and start covering some cryptos, shall we? Now, everything is in the red, with the exception of Ethereum Classic. Now, did you all hear me last show, folks? I was telling everybody out there to take a look at Ethereum Classic because it was added on Coinbase's new repertoire of coins that are going to be traded on their platform. And actually, tomorrow is the official date that they're actually going to start trading Ethereum Classic on Coinbase. And I also got messages from some folks that saw it on their Robinhood accounts. And for you folks that are unaware of Robinhood, Robinhood is actually a stock trading platform that is currently integrating cryptocurrency trading in its stock trading platform. So they're also going to cover Ethereum Classic. So I'm starting to wonder what's going to happen to Ethereum Classic here? Is it going to be something that is going to potentially see a creeping on a come-up? I mean, remember, folks, we got people holding the bag, and this is the symbol, ETC, Ethereum Classic, ETC. We got people holding the bag at about $35. $35 here. So, very interesting what the hell's about to happen here. Remember, tomorrow is when Coinbase starts trading Ethereum Classic, and I don't know, we should see some more gains from what we're seeing right now. I'm going to go ahead and cover it first since it's on the positive in a sea of red in the cryptocurrency markets right now. Let's get to Ethereum Classic, symbol ETC. The current market capitalization is $1.9 billion market capitalization. The current circulating supply for Ethereum Classic is 103 million. 103 million in circulation. In the past 24 hours, folks, Ethereum Classic has gone up 6.40%. The current price for Ethereum Classic, check this out, folks, $18.68 per Ethereum Classic. It's almost about to break the top 10 in highest market capitalizations of cryptocurrencies around, baby. Keep an eye on ETC, baby, all right? Keep an eye. That's all I'm saying. Tomorrow, I mean, we should see a raise. It's going to go on trading, not just on Coinbase, but also on the exchanges of Robinhood, Terra. There's a lot of things that are going to be trading ETC that's got high volume traders. So we shall see what happens, folks, all right? Anyway, let's get to Bitcoin, the first kid on the blockchain, BTC. Now, we've seen some come downs from BTC here in the past week, to say the least. Looks like everybody's selling off to pretty much, folks, to either be holding the fiat U.S. currency or they're exchanging their cryptocurrency gains and putting it in the stock market. Because what did I tell you all back in 2017? I said that 2018 was 100% bullish on the stock market, and I was right. Anyway, let's go ahead and take a look at Bitcoin, BTC. Current market capitalization for Bitcoin is $119 billion market capitalization. The circulating supply for Bitcoin is 17.1 million in circulation. In the past 24 hours, Bitcoin has gone down, 1.78% decrease. Current price for Bitcoin, BTC is the symbol, $6,948.97 per Bitcoin. Now, once again, folks, I am not shaken by the fact that we're seeing this contraction in Bitcoin. I still believe that we're going to see a run-up on Bitcoin. There's too many goddamn people in the business media that are trying to hype this son of a bitch. You've got them talking about 40,000, 30,000, 60,000, 80,000 Bitcoin at the end of the year. Now, I don't believe that they're going to go to those ranges, but when you've got business media pumping these types of exaggerated type of expectations, that means that they're trying to lure people into the markets. And not to mention, folks, lest we forget, as these institutionalist investors begin to go into the markets, it's going to bring in trillions of dollars of market capitalization. And by the way, only 1.5% of institutionalist Wall Street traders are participating in cryptocurrency trading. So just saying, folks, I mean, even though we're seeing red right now, don't get hasty, all right? Don't get hasty. Always hold. Long-term investment reigns supreme, folks. You know, I'm going to tell you a story that I told the Inner Circle the other night, or I think I might have told the True Capitalist Radio chat room, either one. There's many instances in which I learned that long-term investment reigns supreme, but the one that sticks out the most, folks, is Amazon. Folks, I bought Amazon at like $7 back in the mid-90s. And I thought Amazon wasn't going to do anything. I just literally just thought that it wasn't going to meet up to expectations, because you have to realize that Jeff Bezos was able to sell venture capitalists and those who actually invested in Amazon that Amazon wasn't going to see a profit for a decade. And after that decade, according to Bezos, they would not only see profit, but they'd see profits beyond the comprehension of the spreadsheets that were speculating the potential profits at the time, which obviously he was correct. Now, because I was impatient, and because at the time in the 90s, folks, I mean, Jesus Christ, it was so easy to make large sums of cash in the stock market in the 90s. I mean, very, very easy. I end up selling off Amazon at $35. Now, I want to be honest with you. This is one of my biggest regrets, because had I held my position in Amazon, and let me tell you, I hold positions that I still have that I bought from back then. Unfortunately, Amazon is not one of them. If I would have held on to Amazon and just kept it in my long-term portfolio instead of liquidating it for something else, I would be beyond balling at this point in time. I would be able to fucking afford the goddamn house that Birdman has on the video Fire Flame. You understand what I'm saying? So that's why I'm telling each and every one of you, don't fucking sell. I'm giving you the facts. I'm telling you from firsthand experience. Long-term investment reigns fucking supreme. All right? And that's just one of many investments that I regret. But hey, I'm an old man. I mean, you know, that's why you guys are listening, so that you can recollect that, so you can say, you know what, Ghost was right. I mean, long-term investment does reign supreme. Of course it reigns supreme. That's how Warren Buffett became one of the fucking top 1, 2, 3 richest men in the fucking world. On pure stock speculation. And Warren Buffett doesn't like to buy anything that he isn't going to hold for at least 10 years. Long-term investment, baby. I'm just trying to give you... Look, I'm trying to lead you to the water. It's up to you to drink, baby, all right? It's up to you to drink it. Anyway, let's go ahead and get to Ethereum, all right? ETH. Current market capitalization for Ethereum is $41 billion market capitalization. The current circulating supply for Ethereum is 101 million in circulation. In the past 24 hours, we have seen Ethereum go down 1.17%. The current price for Ethereum, symbol ETH, $406.49 per Ethereum. Let's get to Bitcoin Cash. Once again, I like Bitcoin Cash for the next 6 to 9 months. It's a nice play. Let's take a look at it. BCH is the symbol. Current market capitalization is $11 billion market capitalization. Actually, close to $12 billion. $12 billion market capitalization. Current circulating supply for Bitcoin Cash is 17.2 million in circulation. In the past 24 hours, Bitcoin Cash has gone down 2.62%. Current price for Bitcoin Cash is $693.08 per per Bitcoin Cash, BTC. Let's get to Litecoin, symbol LTC. Now, this has been, really, really weird as of late. I don't know if y'all been checking out the charts on Litecoin. A lot of short-term pattern trading activity, to say the least. I mean, take a look at those peaks and valleys in the short term. If you can, kind of shorten that chart down to about 2 or 3 days, lots of pops, lots of sell-offs. So take a look at Litecoin and see if you can't make a pattern or swing trading play here, because you're seeing a trend of a lot of these kind of sporadic pops in price. Just take a look at the chart and you'll see what I'm talking about. LTC is the symbol. Current market capitalization is $4.2 billion market cap. The current circulating supply is 57 million in circulation. In the past 24 hours, Litecoin has gone down 1.29%. Current price for Litecoin, symbol LTC, current price, $73.91 per Litecoin. And like I said, even though I think that Charlie Lee, the creator of this coin, should be blindfolded with dental floss and refused any kind of tweet privileges, I still think that this is a very decent coin, to say the least. Let's go to Monero, symbol XMR. You know what I like about Monero, folks? It likes to run. It's a definite short or pattern trading play, to say the least. I'm not particularly too crazy about the long-term ramifications of Monero, But for short and pattern trading, it likes to run, folks. Just take a look at the chart here the past month. Take a look at those peaks and valleys. You know what I'm talking about. Let's go ahead and get to Monero. $1.8 billion market capitalization. The circulating supply is 16.2 million in circulation. In the past 24 hours, Monero has gone down 3.36% decrease. Current price for Monero, symbol XMR, $113.57 per Monero. Let's get to Dash, Sally. Dash, D-A-S-H. Current market capitalization is $1.6 billion market cap. The circulating supply is 8.2 million in circulation. Once again, very low circulation for Dash, 8.2 million. In the past 24 hours, Dash has gone down 3.53% decrease. Current price for Dash, $199.65. $199.65. Let's get to Zcash, folks. We saw some profit taking in Zcash, but it's one of the few that is actually in the green today in this contraction. So let's go ahead and take a look at Zcash, symbol ZEC. Current market capitalization is 827 million in market capitalization. The circulating supply, folks, is 4.5 million in circulation. Nice and low circulation for old Zcash. In the past 24 hours, Zcash has gone up 1.24% increase. Current price for Zcash, symbol ZEC, current price $183.15 per Zcash. Now, for all the folks that are down with quantum, folks, now is the time to start gobbling this shit up like Cookie Monster. You understand what I'm saying? I mean, are you kidding me? I have been gobbling this up and gobbling this up at these prices because, once again, as we wait for quantum to finally shoot up to the true value that we truly believe it's going to be here, based on the technology, based on the smart contract integration, based on the x86 virtual machine, based on everything that quantum has to offer, its own token, QRC20, all the tokens that are being made out of QRC20, the proof of stake, everything. You're actually making money. You know, whenever you have quantum in your quantum core wallet, and it has to be in the quantum core wallet, folks, when it's just sitting there, you're actually making money. You're actually giving quantum for holding quantum in your wallet. I mean, it's like, and I'm not trying to say it is that, but I'm comparing it to when a stock gives you a dividend. So aside from, I mean, you know, sitting back waiting for this damn thing to go to $100, $200, $300 a damn coin, you're sitting here, you're making anywhere from 3 to 6 quantum for having at least over 100 and something coins in your goddamn quantum wallet. 3 to 6. And obviously, if you got like 500 or 1,000, I mean, you're getting paid like every goddamn 30 days, baby. I mean, it just, the more quantum you have, the bigger stake you have. And that's why I love this damn thing, man. I'm telling you, it's the future. It's conquering Asia right now. It's starting to try to penetrate the Arab market with the halal coin. I don't know if y'all want to take a look at that. Halal coin, Space Chain, Bodhi. I mean, these are all QRC20 tokens. I'm telling you, folks, if you're getting in on this for the long term, you're just at the beginning. And that's why, if you want my view, I have been gobbling this shit up like Cookie Monster. Let's go ahead and take a look at quantum. Symbol QTUM is the symbol. QTUM. Current market capitalization is $571 million market capitalization. The current circulating supply is 88 million in circulation. In the past 24 hours, we have seen it go down 1%. So current price right now is a very, very viable. I mean, just imagine, man, you can get 100 quantum for like $600, $650. Current price for quantum is $6.44. I mean, for $1,200, you can literally get 200 quantum and get a stake payment, I'm sure, every goddamn 100 days. 110 days. I'm not even kidding around, man. So, once again, and not to mention the airdrops, the QRC20 token airdrops that are going right into your goddamn quantum wallet there. So, lots of goodness coming from QTUM. It's one of my biggest holdings and the Inner Circle's biggest holdings. to say the least. Anyway, we're at 7:15 on the True Capitalist Radio time clock here, so let's just go ahead and get right into some stocks, because I don't want to take too much time. We got a lot of things to talk about, man. I mean, I'm talking just freaking production notes, man. We got a lot of things to talk about. Aside from capitalism, we got, straight political dope coming at you here in a little bit. So let's go ahead and let's hook this up. Let's go to stocks, shall we? Now, what did I say in 2017? I said that I was 100% bullish in the 2018 market, and look at what's happened. I mean, it's just been nothing but green, nothing but green. I mean, I told you I was bullish. I told you. The prognosticator of prognosticators, baby. Let's take a look at today's market. Dow Jones Industrial up, folks, 39.60 points. A percentage increase of 0.16%. Closing out the Dow Jones Industrial at 25,502.18 points for the Dow Jones Industrial. Let me explain something to you, folks. For the year, for the entire year, the Dow Jones Industrial is up 15.43%. 15.43%. I told you I was bullish. Let's go ahead and take a look at the S&P 500, all right? S&P 500 is up 10.05 points today, a percentage increase of 0.35%, closing out the S&P at 2,850.40 points for the S&P 500. And the S&P, the total one-year percentage increase for the S&P, it is up 14.89% on the year for the S&P, baby. Let's take a look at the NASDAQ. The NASDAQ is also up, folks, 47.67 points, a percentage increase of 0.61%, closing out the NASDAQ at 7,859.68 points for the NASDAQ composite. And the NASDAQ on the year, folks, it's gotten the biggest yield for the year. The NASDAQ is up 23.12%. I mean, Jesus Christ, man. I told you I was bullish on this stock market for 2018, baby. I told you. Anyway, let's go ahead and get to commodities, shall we? Let's get to energy. Once again, energy is very fickle. A lot of uncertainty in energy. We don't know what the hell's going to happen with the Iranian situation. We don't know what's going to happen in the Middle East. But for right now, we have production outputs at least comparable enough to have the market believe that it should be under $70 a barrel. Let's take a look at energy right now. WTI sweet crude is down today 18 cents, a percentage decrease of 0.26%. Current price for WTI sweet crude is $68.83 per barrel of WTI sweet crude. We've got Brent crude. It's also down today 15 cents, a percentage decrease of 0.20%, closing out Brent crude at $73.60 per barrel of Brent crude oil. Gasoline is also down, folks, 0.23%. Natural gas is down 0.03%. Heating oil is down 0.10%. And that's reflected also, folks, because we're having a high dollar. Like I said in the beginning of the financial coverage here, I said that the U.S. dollar index is up 0.25%. So as a result, we're going to see commodities go down in price unless commodities traders feel that there's a scarcity in a certain commodity. Now, let's go take a look at the metals while we're at it, shall we? Let's go take a look at the metals, the goddamn metals. We've got gold. It is down 70 cents, a percentage decrease of 0.06%, closing out gold at $1,217 even per troy ounce of gold. I mean, keep that gold coming down, baby. I want people to start sporting gold again. You know what I mean? I want the big gold chains. I want the brothers with the gold teeth. Because when they start wearing gold chains and gold teeth, then we're definitely in a capitalist America. I mean, you remember, these black folks, do y'all remember black folks back in the early 2000s? They weren't all violent and fucking disgusting as they are today, man. I mean, I'm not trying to say anything racial. I'm saying something out of pure observation. I mean, you go to a black club, I could imagine back in 2000, 2001, 2002, I'm sure most of the blacks were out there with the gold teeth, they got the gold chain, You know, they were out there flossing, they were sporting. Now, ever since Obama took office, haven't you noticed that the dignity of blacks has gone down the tubes, and now they're completely okay with being welfare cheats, with being men who have like 25 kids, etc. I mean, I'm just simply stating my observation. I'm not trying to be racist, okay? Because all of you fucking people that are out there are a bunch of goody two-shoes, political correct jerk nuts that want to say the race card at any goddamn turn. It's freedom of speech, faggots, all right? Remember that, all right? While we still have it, practice it, all right? While we still have it, practice it, the fucking freedom of speech. Anyway, let's go ahead and get to silver. Silver is down today 2 cents, a percentage decrease of 0.12%. Closing out silver at $15.33 per troy ounce of silver. Copper is down 0.16%. Platinum is also down, or actually it's up. It's actually up 0.04% increase for platinum. Let's take a look at agriculture, shall we? Grains. Corn is unchanged today, folks. Wheat is up 0.25%. Oats is down 0.56%. Rough rice is up 0.09%. Soybean is up 0.67%. That's because we're shipping these damn soybeans to Euro cuckland. They agreed to buy more since China wants to sit back and, play hardball with the tariff situation. Let's get to soybean oil. It is up 0.21%. Let's go ahead and get to canola. It is unchanged. Now let's get to the soft, shall we? Now, before we get to the soft, folks, I do want to remind everybody that we were a little concerned about cocoa, and y'all remember cocoa is the base for chocolate, for all those that are wondering. And the reason that we're having, such an issue with cocoa, because the cocoa plant is basically mostly grown out of Africa. Got a little away, little away, little away, little away. Now, that's where it's grown. Now, the reason that I bring this up, folks, is because we're seeing an increase in cocoa. It is up 2.65%. Now, why is it that I keep telling you? Why is it that cocoa keeps going up since it's produced in Africa? Why is it? Why? Ebola. Uh-oh. 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 It's back! It's back in Africa! It's back! It's back! You remember! You remember! Ebola! Ebola. No eating nothing. Ebola. Ebola, come here. Don't touch me. No eating nothing. Ebola. Come on, dance. You know you want to dance. Ebola. Man, this is music straight out of Liberia, baby. This is straight out of Liberia. Ebola, dance, baby. Ebola, Ebola. Ebola. All right. All right. Well, one more breakdown. Let's listen to the chorus one more time. It's coming. All right? One more time. One more time. It's coming. It's coming. This is why the cocoa prices are going down. We're not going nowhere. No eating nothing. No kissy. Don't touch me. Don't touch me. No eating nothing. Ebola. Shake your Ebola ass. Shake that tribal ass. Shake that tribal ass like it's on National Geographic, boy. Shake that tribal ass. Ebola. All right, shut it up. Shut it up. Shut it up. All right, that's enough. I'm sorry. I just had to let everybody know that that's what's happening, in my personal opinion, when it comes to this cocoa situation that we have in Africa. Anyway, cocoa is up once again. 2.65% increase for cocoa, okay? Coffee.
Hey, dude, don't talk to me unless I had my coffee, okay? Don't talk to me.
Shut up, you coffee faggot. Anyway, coffee is up 0.93%. Sugar is up 1.20%. Orange juice is down 1.48%. We've got cotton up 0.32%. We've got lumber. It is down 1.81%. Rubber, I guess it's up. I guess people are still screwing and they're using safe protection. Rubber is up 0.12%, and ethanol is down 0.14%. Let's get to livestock, shall we? Let's get to live cattle. Live cattle is down 0.40%. We've got cattle feeder. It is also down, folks, 0.77%. And look, I know I haven't said this in a long time, but it bears repeating, and it needs to be said. I'm calling out on everybody out there that wants to make America beautiful again. I'm calling out on everybody who is tired of seeing these fat, disgusting, obese, Snorlax-looking sons of bitches that are riding around damn shopping malls and grocery stores throughout the United States of America, all right, with these fucking hover-rounds. I mean, you know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about. You know, whenever they back up, they do that beep, 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 beep. These fat asses, all right? What we need to do, folks, is we need to apply a little bit of pressure to these fatties, man. Just a little bit of pressure to these fucking fat fucks. Now, I'm not saying go up to them and badger them and harass them. I'm not saying anything of the sort. All I'm simply stating is, when you pass by these fat, disgusting piles of sick protoplasm, I want you to go by these assholes and don't confront them, don't say anything, don't harass them. Just pass by them and say this. Say the following. Hambo. I mean, simple as that. As simple as that. Fat, greasy ass, sticky ass, smelly Hambo. I'm telling you, they will get the point. They will get the point, and hopefully they put the fucking fork down for about 5 minutes, all right? I mean, good God, stop eating! I'm trying to do a community service here. I'm trying to do a public service announcement because, by God, there's too many fat fucks. And look, it's okay, you got a little bit of girth, okay? Let's say you got a little bit of girth going on. That's fine. It's a sign of a good life. When you're some gigantuan, back-tit sporting fucking pile of human protoplasm piece of fucking dog shit, I mean, when your body looks like the equivalent of a fucking meatball, I mean, it's time for you to put the fucking fork down for about 5 minutes, all right? All right? And you know what it is? It's all about calorie intake to how much activity you're going to have throughout your day. So if you're not going to be that fucking active, fat ass, don't put that much food in your gullet. And look, if you got a little bit of girth, I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about these fat, disgusting Snorlaxes out here. That's what I'm talking about. These fucking people that can't even walk around with their own 2 feet, they got to be assisted by a fucking machine. That's who I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. Anyway, folks, lean hogs is down today. 1.08% decrease on the day. And that, my friends, is the markets for your ass. All right? Jesus Christ. Let me go ahead and take a swig of this water because that's all I've got. Once again, 32 days without a sip of alcohol. I'm going to try to do 3 months, and then I'll be back. Okay? I mean, you got to clean out the system. You got to make the inside, let the insides heal itself, you know. And once I do that, give me 3 months without alcohol. I'll be back. All right, I'll be back. All right, let me go ahead and take a sip of some high quality H2O, and then we're going to continue with the damn broadcast. Good stuff. Wish it was a beer, but it's not. Anyway, folks, we are now approaching the second hour of the True Capitalist Radio broadcast. And, of course, I am your host, the man they call Ghost. And once again, folks, I want to thank you all for tuning in with me live right now. Before we get started on anything, I'd like to remind everybody to please spread this show link around like wildfire, right? If you're listening to this broadcast, then you are listening to the political internet underground. I guarantee it. Spread it around! Spread it around! Spread it around like wildfire, for Christ's sake! Spread it across the internet and throughout the world and let everybody know that True Capitalist Radio is in effect and in the house, and we are live every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, 6:30 p.m. Central Standard Time, right here on the official website of the True Capitalist Radio broadcast. And by God, I love being independent now! All right, type this in your browser right now. Type it in your browser, add it to your bookmarks, add it to your favorites, ghost.report. All right, it's as simple as that. All right, ghost.report. All right, and by the way, folks, if you have not done so, please follow me on my only social media representation on the internet today, and that's on Gab, folks. And if you don't have a goddamn Gab account, then what the hell are you doing? Are you kidding me? Gab is the last bastion of freedom of speech and social media today. Get yourself a free account and stop being a jerk-off. All right, go to Gab right now, and you can follow me under the name Politics Ghost. All right? All one word, no underscores. Politics Ghost is the name to follow under Gab. And by the way, I want to say what's going on to the True Capitalist Radio chat room. What's going on, baby? We got a lot of people in here tonight. What's going on to Aesthetic? What's going on to Andrew Smith, Australian Capitalist, Black Star Tribe, Boomy in the house, BP. What's up, Cannabis Capitalist? Capitalist America Distilling, Hans Uberlander. We got Harvey Johnson, Hawk Late Milk, Herb Master, Hoodie, JD. We got Man Bear Pig, Mao, Metaform. We got Mile High, Prince. We got SB the Thunderstorm, whatever the hell that is. We've got Prince in the house. We've got Stagio, Stillwaters, TCR Mercenary. We got Tesla Cyberheart. We got the God of Rage and Eagle Cock. What's going on to Hoodie, by the way, as well? What's going on to Hambone Capitalist? What's going on to everybody that's coming in? If you want to be a part of the True Capitalist Radio chat room, well, then, by God, I don't know what the hell you're waiting for. Come on down right now. Go to my Gab account. All right, go to my Gab. Check out my Gab. Politics Ghost. All right, what's up, Curly McWhirly? And once you go to Politics Ghost on my Gab, click the subscribe button for premium content, all right? Click the subscribe button for premium content, and once you do, private message me on Gab. Do you hear me? Private message me on Gab and let me know your Discord chat name, and I will give you a personal invitation to the True Capitalist Radio chat room. It's that damn simple. And if you're not a part of it, then you're missing all kinds of tomfoolery, internet tomfoolery that we conduct ourselves in. I mean, I'm telling you, I called live in the True Capitalist Radio chat room the asshole we doxed as QAnon. And he was scared shitless. Are you kidding me? You gotta be there. That's what I'm saying. You gotta be there. Come on down. Go to my Gab account right now, Politics Ghost, and click the subscribe button, baby. All right? And once you do that, private message me with your Discord chat name so you can get in here and be involved with all the goodies, with all the fun, with all the internet tomfoolery. Anyway, folks, let's go ahead and get right into the nitty-gritty, folks, because we got a lot of crap. I shouldn't say crap, but we got a lot of interesting stuff, a lot of important stuff, a lot of straight political dope stuff to talk about. First thing I'm going to talk about, what I intro to in the second hour all the time, the president, the modern-day George Washington himself, Donald Trump. I don't know if y'all been watching the media as of late, but the mainstream media is trying to rehash this Donnie Jr. meeting at Trump Tower with this Kremlin lawyer. Y'all familiar with this? Well, folks, I don't know if y'all saw my Gab here today, but I gabbed out an article that I wrote last summer, July 13, 2017. The title of it was, Donald Trump Jr. was set up by both Obama and the Russians. And I wrote this last summer, July 13, 2017. Now, in this article, I talk about how the Democratic Party with Russia and Obama set up Donnie Jr. Now, if you want my personal opinion, the so-called insurance policy that you hear Peter Strzok and Lisa Page talk about in their little sexting little escapades, y'all remember, Peter Strzok, Mr. Super FBI agent who was texting his horse-faced lover, Lisa Page, they talk about a so-called insurance policy that they were going to talk about in Andy's office, which ended up becoming Andrew McCabe, the deputy FBI director. Now, no one truly knows what the hell they're talking about when it comes to an insurance policy. But if you want my speculation, folks, I think it was this meeting between Donnie Jr. and this Kremlin or so-called Kremlin lawyer. Now, the reason I say this, folks, is because June 9th, 2006 was the meeting between Donnie Jr. and this Kremlin lawyer. What the hell is her name? Natalia Veselinskaya or some fucking brewski, cockeyed, vodka-drinking garbage like that. Anyway, this infamous Trump Jr. Trump Tower meeting happened on June 9th, 2016, folks. And if you take a look at the article, it wasn't but 3 days later, on June 13th, 2016, when the first report of Russian hacking became public in the mainstream media. And I've got the link right there. The first report of Russian hacking came circulating 3 days after Donnie Jr. had this so-called meeting with this Kremlin lawyer. And lest we forget, folks, that this Kremlin lawyer, I have a link of her and her Facebooks before she, made it private. She was posting pictures of herself being pro-Hillary. Not to mention, folks, there are clips of her sitting in back of the ambassador to Russia, in ambassador of Russia's testimony to Congress. So it's not as if this Kremlin lawyer was someone who was not known to the circles of Washington, D.C. She was very known to the circles, and moreover, she was also pro-Clinton. So once again, folks, I have pointed out in this article that in this Trump Tower meeting with Trump Jr. and this Kremlin lawyer Natalia on June 9th, the circulations of Russia hacking came on June 13th, 2016. And let me go ahead and click the first, and you can do a search on this. This is the first article that you will find, the earliest article about Russia hacking. It's on oilprice.com. Oilprice.com. The title of it is, Russia is reportedly set to release Clinton's intercepted emails. June 13th. Now, why did they phrase this article like this? Russia is reportedly set to release Clinton's intercepted emails. Because the Democratic Party knew it was compromised. And it knew it was compromised. And folks, I was the one first on the media out here to say that it was Seth Rich that took the emails in question and gave them to a third party, aka WikiLeaks. And as a result, Seth Rich was eliminated, so he could no longer leak the information that was going to sources that ended up becoming in the hands of WikiLeaks. That leak could be plugged. Now, the Democrats knew this. They've known this for some time. Lest we forget, folks, that the Democrats refused to allow the FBI to investigate their servers. They refused to allow the FBI to view their servers and instead gave it to a third party. private third party that was actually ran by a former FBI agent that was promoted by Robert Mueller himself. Now, aside from all that, folks, okay, because the Democrats knew they had leaked information, this June 13, 2016 article proves that they were beginning to circulate this Russia hacking narrative as early June 2016. This is the insurance policy that I believe that Peter Strzok and Lisa Page were discussing in their emails in relation to the meeting with Andy McCabe, or Andrew McCabe, the former deputy FBI director. Now, let me read you the article, okay? Because this was, and it doesn't even have an author. It just says Defense and Foreign Affairs. It doesn't even have an author to this goddamn article. All right? It says, reliable intelligence sources in the West have indicated that warnings had been received that the Russian government could, in the near future, release the text of email messages intercepted from U.S. presidential candidate Hillary Clinton's private email server from the time she was U.S. Secretary of State. Because the reason they put that out, because they didn't know what WikiLeaks or anybody had, you know? I mean, they didn't know. I mean, the Democrats didn't know. That's why they didn't want the FBI investigating the so-called hack that happened to their servers. That's why they sent it to a private entity, and that private entity forwarded the information to the FBI. And, folks, that's what that recent Department of Justice indictment on these 10 Russians recently, that's where it comes from. It comes from the so-called evidence that was culminated by this private entity that was investigating the DNC servers. It wasn't the FBI agents that inspected these DNC servers. And that's all documented. You can Google that shit up if you don't believe me. Google up Democrats refused FBI servers, and you'll see all kinds of damn articles, including Washington Post and New York Times articles for you liberals out there. So it's a fact that this goddamn Democratic Party refused to cooperate with the FBI. Why? Because they were trying to set shit in play. They were trying to use this Russian narrative as the insurance policy. And I wrote about this in this article. I talked about it in 2016, right after the election, that they were going to use this Russia-Trump narrative in an attempt to remove Trump from office. And you can't get any more blatant than 3 days after the so-called meeting that the mainstream media is now in present day trying to rehash as, you know, current news. I mean, that's not a coincidence that 3 days after Donnie Jr. had this meeting with the so-called Kremlin lawyer, circulations of Russia hacking started circulating. So, and by the way, folks, Russia never hacked the election. I mean, even the investigations by the intelligence committees and everybody who's been investigating this, they didn't hack, they, quote, meddled in the election. And you see, you have people that are surrogates for the DNC going on mainstream media talking heads, or going on talk shows on the mainstream media and saying that Russia hacking. It has been investigated. Russia did not hack anything. They meddled in the election, which meant they utilized our avenues of advertising, social media, and other forms of communication in an attempt to persuade portions of the electorate to either do a certain thing or not do a certain thing. I mean, I don't think that the Russians cared either way. I mean, we have that one Russian event that was outside of Trump Tower. Remember that big protest that ended up becoming organized by one of these Russian meddlers? So once again, we have to take all this crap, you know, that the media has been throwing at us and putting it into context. And the context is that this whole Russia-Trump narrative is bullshit. And it's obvious by the chain of events and the date of those chain of events that proves that there was a coordinated effort by Obama, by Hillary Clinton, by the DNC, by the higher echelons of the FBI, by the DOJ, in an attempt to usurp the people's vote and to utilize this Russia-Trump narrative in an attempt to remove a duly elected president. And now that they're all getting busted, they're a little upset, they're a little angry, and this is why, you're seeing the kinds of garbage that you're seeing. I mean, y'all saw that fucking Peter Strzok testimony. I mean, that asshole Peter Strzok acted as if he was above the law. And to be honest with you folks, he kind of is. Remember, this guy was the head of counterintelligence for the FBI. That's why these people think they're above the law. So I'm telling you folks, I mean, this narrative that they're trying to feed now in the mainstream media, that Donnie Jr. didn't tell the whole truth or whatever, they're trying to get the president or his son, somebody close to the president, on an obstruction charge just to punish the president even that much more. I mean, have y'all been keeping up with this Paul Manafort trial, for Christ's sake? I mean, the only thing that the prosecution has is, highlighting his extravagant lifestyle, putting questionable people on the stand, and giving them the credibility as actual truthful testimony. I mean, they've got nothing. I personally believe that fucking Robert Mueller has a nothing burger of a trial case here, and I am going to laugh when Manafort literally beats this case. And I want to know, I mean, if Manafort beats this case, can Manafort sue Robert Mueller and his family in civil court for being, it's obviously a personal vendetta. It's obviously a personal vendetta. I mean, no one would be prosecuted to this extent for the crimes that he's being alleged to have committed. I mean, they're trying to get him on tax evasion, and what they did today was put on some stupid broad that was supposed to be his assistant, who has already been caught lying to the damn special counsel to begin with. It's already been documented that she's lied before, but yet this stupid Robert Mueller special counsel still puts this lying bitch on the stand. And she's claiming that, she signed documents for Manafort claiming that loans were not loans or loans were loans or whatever the case might be. Regardless, it's a nothing burger. I mean, the basis of the Paul Manafort case is that Paul Manafort didn't register as a foreign agent. Neither did the Podestas. And do you see this type of aggressive prosecution going towards the Podesta brothers? Absolutely not. So I hope that Paul Manafort beats this case, and I hope that Robert Mueller has fucking egg on his big-ass jowls. Because I'm sick and tired of seeing this old cover man, because that's what he was. That's what he was after 9/11/2001. That's what he was after the Uranium One deal. That's what he was the whole time. He's a fucking cover man, and he himself, Robert Mueller himself, should be investigated. So anyway, once again, media trying to rehash Donnie Jr.'s meeting with this Russia Natalia Kremlin lawyer broad at Trump Tower, when we all know this was a setup. They set him up. They set up Donnie Jr., and it was Obama, it was the Russians, it was the Democratic Party, because, folks, do you think it's a coincidence? June 9th, they have the so-called meeting in Trump Tower, and then by June 13th, the first goddamn circulation of Russian hacking was circulated in the media. Do you think that's a coincidence? The fuck out of here, all right? Let's move on to another. Let's move on. Anyway, this past weekend, folks, President was at a rally in Ohio. And the reason he's in a rally in Ohio is because tomorrow is a special election for the Congress. And the congressman that the president is backing up is a man by the name of a guy by the name of Balderson. Now, this Balderson, believe it or not, is having a tough race in Ohio because apparently the person who's running against him is some young punk. And I don't know what being young, especially in this day and age, I don't understand how that's a quality. But some young punk who's out here, who's at least a little bit in the middle of the road Democrat, as opposed to being straight out socialist. He is in the middle of the road Democrat, and in this area of America, especially Ohio, they don't know whether they're coming or going. I mean, look at the goofy-ass homosexual governor they have in Ohio. Oh, yeah, that's right, folks. Y'all don't remember? Back in 2016, the Capitalist Army and myself, we unearthed the old boyfriend of old John Kasich. Thigh-butt? Remember Thigh-butt? Anyway, we released his gay lover's Twitter account and asked everybody in the Capitalist Army to ask him about his lover, John Kasich, and he refused to answer, and he's made his Twitter private, and his Twitter has been private ever since. So anyway, what I'm trying to say is they're very fickle in Ohio. I mean, sometimes they may vote Republican, sometimes they may vote Democrat. It's just Ohio, man. I mean, you know, it's not a coincidence that Ohio is the state with the most astronauts to come from it, because they want to leave this fucking world once they get out of Ohio. Why, oh, did I ever leave Ohio? But anyway, that's why the president is out there in Ohio. He's backing up Balderson as a candidate for Congress. And it's a 50-50 shot whether or not Balderson's going to win or the Democrat's going to win. So tomorrow is the election. It's a special election, so we shall see. They're claiming that this is going to be the first somewhat test referendum of Trump. And I'm telling you, if you Ohio pieces of trash elect a Democrat because your little stupid, dumb, gay governor doesn't like Trump or whatever the case might be, I will never forgive Ohio. You understand? I will never forgive you pieces of garbage in Ohio. I'm just saying. Y'all remember? I mean, it's come down to you fucking people before. Remember that was at the 2004 election? Give me a fucking break, man. I'm tired of Ohio. I mean, what the hell has Ohio ever produced? Nothing. What the fuck's a Buckeye? Jesus Christ. Anyway, let me move on, all right? I'm just saying, tomorrow's a special election in Ohio, and if Balderson wins, well, then that pretty much kind of calms the fire of any potential blue wave that these Democrats are claiming that are going to happen. But if by some chance these Ohioans, which are a bunch of freak shows anyway, decide that they're going to elect a goddamn Democrat, don't be surprised. That's how these nutty idiots in Ohio are. Okay? So just keep an eye out for that. I'm just letting y'all know. Anyway, I also want to talk a little bit about how today the president fully enforces and reimposes the Iranian nuclear sanctions. Yeah, baby. That's how you do it, POTUS. Because I don't know if y'all been noticing, man, Iran, they can't even keep their people with fucking drinking water at this point. I mean, it is an economic squalor situation in Iran at this point. I mean, every other day, the people of Iran are trying to raise up and protest because of the economic patheticness that's happening within the land of Iran. And you know what's really upsetting of it all? And you know, it should piss everybody in Iran off. That Obama gave the Iranian government $260 billion so that they could stop their nuclear program. Where the hell did all that money go? Where the hell did all that money go? Where the hell did $260 billion? Where the hell did it go? It sure as hell didn't help to feed the Iranian people, that's for sure. And I'm telling you, I think the Iranian government is on its last legs. And if you want my opinion, I think that the United States should either urge Israel to go in there and kick some fucking ass and overthrow the Iranian government, or we, the United States, aids an insurrection from within in a clandestine capacity, which is what we should have done back in 2009 when I was on this broadcast telling the fucking American government to do so. Y'all remember that? Y'all remember back when I was on this broadcast in 2009 saying somebody in the world, somebody in America help the green revolution that's happening in fucking Iran. But nobody did a goddamn thing. And they allowed those people that rose up against the Ayatollah in 2009, the whole world allowed those people to die. They allowed those people to die just like they watched the Chinese die back in 1989 at Tiananmen Square. You just watch these people fucking die. Not this time, man. We cannot turn our backs on the Iranians, for Christ's sake. I'm not saying we go full-on war with Iran, but let's fucking help these people that are trying to overthrow their autocratic government, their fundamentalist government. Let's help them in a clandestine capacity. I mean, come on. Or how about Israel? It's about time that you do something, Israel. Go in there and kick Iran's ass. Go in there and kick his ass. Go in there and kick Iran's ass. Jesus Christ. Anyway, the reason I bring this up and the reason I'm so fucking spastic about it is because I'm happy that the president is going to fucking double down and is going to make the economic situation worse for Iran by fully enforcing and reimposing these Iranian nuclear options because they were so-called taken away during the Iranian nuke deal that Obama created. Now, this is going to put some more economic pressure on Iran. Now, Iran's got to do one of two things at this point in time. It's either got to come to the table to America and talk, or they're going to watch their people starve to death and have a humanitarian situation, and it's going to force a multilateral offensive. I mean, that's really what's being prepped. A multilateral offensive on Iran. But you got to justify it. You've got to provide the opportunity to do so. You got to, not the mistake they did in Iraq. They thought they were going to be greeted as liberators, and that didn't last very long. And why? Because the people of Iraq truly didn't want to have their dictator Saddam Hussein overthrown. It was just something that, we could talk about that some other time. But either way, we have to make sure that the people of Iran want us there, and they want us to overthrow that ridiculous fundamentalist government, and for the most part, they do. But by God, man, I just remember those 2009 uprisings in Iran and watching all those people being mowed down like dogs because they don't want to be ruled fundamentally anymore. They don't want to be ruled by this fucking fundamentalist religious zealousy. They don't want to be ruled by a supreme leader. I mean, for the most part, folks, most of the population of Iran is under 27 years old. Because Iran has literally sacrificed most of their population to these sick-ass wars they've been fighting. One of which, the Iran-Iraq war, which, I mean, they lost, I guess, almost, 1,200,000 people? I mean, they lost a lot of people during that war. And that's why the population is mostly under the age of 27. That's why they don't want to be ruled by this fundamentalist crap anymore. Now, even though the president is going to reimpose and reinforce these sanctions, the EU, believe it or not, is still trying to plan on keeping business open with Iran. Now, this is speculative. We don't know whether the EU is just going to bypass the sanctions of the United States and keep business open with Iran, or if the EU is going to demand some sort of sanctions waiver so that they can continue the business with Iran. I don't know what is going to happen here, but once again, why does the EU want to continue to pacify Iran? How come they want to sustain the continuity of the Iran nuke deal? Why do they want to defy their so-called ally, America, when it comes to this Iranian situation? And I've said this and I'm going to continue to say it, okay? What do these fucking Iranians have over the Obama administration and the EU? I think that they have some kind of intelligence. They've got some evidence that shows the true malice and disgust of the motivation of, or I should say the true motivation of the immigration wave that hit Europe back in 2014, 2015. They know the strategy. Because let's be honest. What caused this whole migrant situation in Europe? It was the fact that America and the EU decided to take out secular governments in the Middle East that were actually kind of keeping in control these wild Yehudis. I mean, case in point, in Egypt, we allowed Mubarak, which was once our ally, to be overthrown. And guess who was trying to be buddy-buddy with the Muslim Brotherhood, who ended up taking control after the first revolution? None other than Obama. None other than Obama. He was not only recognizing the Muslim Brotherhood, but he was actually sending money to the Muslim Brotherhood in Egypt. And folks, this is a fact. There is an arrest warrant right now. Now that the Muslim Brotherhood was overtaken by General Sisi's military coup, and the old government of the Muslim Brotherhood were all executed, I believe Mohammed Morsi, which was the president of Egypt, who was also Muslim Brotherhood, is about to be executed. But there is a warrant for Obama's arrest for this in Egypt. In Egypt. Because he was aiding and abetting the enemy, the Muslim Brotherhood. And who has a connection with the Muslim Brotherhood, folks? Who has a direct connection with the Muslim Brotherhood? None other than the muff-diving dyke of Hillary Clinton, Huma Abedin. Huma Abedin has a direct link to the Muslim Brotherhood. Her mother writes a book, a publication for the Muslim Brotherhood. So, once again, folks, I personally believe Iran has, like, military intelligence that proves that the EU and Obama purposely overthrew the secular governments in the Middle East to destabilize the Middle East and to purposely cause this humanitarian refugee situation to justify the influx of immigrants that are taking control of Europe as we speak. And why did the European Union do this? Because, folks, I'm telling you this right now, the European Union is communism. It is a communist idea. It is the centralization of power. I mean, what was the last country to call itself a union? The Soviet Union, the first communist nation state. And what are they trying to do by bringing in all these Yehudis into the European Union nation states? What are they trying to do? They're trying to eliminate the nation states and the cultures that comprised of the member states of the EU. They want to eliminate that. They want to eliminate German separatism and French separatism. And I mean, they don't want any differentiation of people. They want one Europe. And the only way you can come up with one Europe is to completely eliminate the cultures themselves. This is straight out of Marx's Communist Manifesto. And instead of ethnically cleansing in the way that the Serbs were doing it when in Srebrenica, you know, when they were murdering when they were murdering Muslims and shit, that's one way to ethnically cleanse. Is just to massively murder people in a genocidal fashion, or you can do what the European Union's doing right now and allow all these immigrants, all these wild Yehudis into your country and allow them to rape and pillage your country. I mean, we've all heard the reports, folks. These Yehudis are raping native women, blonde hair, blue-eyed women in Europe, and the authorities are not doing a goddamn thing. They're not doing a goddamn thing because that's what they want. Do you understand? That's what the authorities want. That's what the European Union brought the Yehudis in there for. They brought them in there so that they can do as much baby making as they possibly can. As much baby making as they possibly can, man. So that they can be one Europe. Not France, not Germany, not Sweden, not Belgium, not all the membership states. No, eliminated. No differentiation. One race, one Europe. Secular. No religion. No religion. I mean, come on, man. I mean, don't you see what's going on here? I mean, do you think it's coincidental that all this is going towards a Marxist direction? I mean, this is what Marx talked about in his Communist Manifesto. There is no God. The only God is the state. The dictatorship of the proletariat. The elimination of races and cultures and the idea of one human being. One citizen of the world. And that's what they're doing with the European Union and the migration situation. They are trying to eliminate Europe. Now, how and why is this being a success? Socialism. Socialism made the entire native populations of all the European nation states of the European Union, they made them docile. They made them kind of feminized, and they don't know how to defend themselves. Because remember, for the past 30 years, Europe has been promoting socialism. And I've told you time and time again, if you want to take a look at what your average European was conducting himself in or herself in back during the prime of socialism in Europe, take a look at the video Smack My Bitch Up by The Prodigy. And take a look at the uncut video, because that's the better one. Smack My Bitch Up by The Prodigy. And that'll give you an insight on what your average European was doing throughout the late 80s, the 90s, the 2000s. And then all of a sudden, because they've been so complacent and so docile by being socialist and relaxed, and don't worry, we're going to relax, and I'm going to have a 6-hour work day, and I'm going to have a 3-hour lunch, and in the lunch I'm going to drink a wine, and I'm going to retire at 40, and I'm going to fuck, and I'm going to take drugs, and I'm going to drink all the time. I'm going to act like a socialist, because that's what we do, yes. I mean, we don't have any worries. We don't worry about nothing, yes. We are sitting here, we're not doing that. And then you know what? You bring in these fucking battle-hardened Yehudis that have been in fucking war zones like Libya, which another secular government overthrown in Libya, huh? Muammar Gaddafi. A secular government overthrown in Iraq, in Saddam Hussein. So, I mean, we overthrow these secular governments, purposely causing the refugee problem, and then what do the communists in European Union do? They allow them to come in. They allow them to come in, and this is what the fucking central planners in Brussels want. They want one Europe. They want one European Union. They want one race. They want one army. They want one economy. Take a look. They've been talking about it for the past 5 years, for Christ's sake. This is what this is all about. This is social engineering at a micromanaged level. This is what these totalitarian freak communists and socialists do, man. This is what they do. Anyway, I went on a little bit of a soliloquy here. We were talking about how the president is going to reinforce and reestablish and reimpose the Iranian nuclear sanctions, and for whatever reason, the EU is planning on keeping business open with Iran, even though the United States is going to reinforce those sanctions. So, I mean, I don't know what the EU's trying to do. I don't appreciate it, and if these are our so-called allies, then who the hell is our enemies, all right? I'm not even joking. If these are our allies, who the hell are our enemies? Anyway, the last thing I'm going to talk about the president, folks, is did y'all hear him tweet about LeBron? LeBron James. Well, folks, the reason that he tweeted about LeBron James is because he was being interviewed. I don't know if y'all saw the interview between LeBron James and Don Fruit Bowl Mulatto Lemon. But LeBron James, of course, had to disrespect our president. And who knows why anymore? I mean, you know, this is what I'm telling you, folks, black folks, from the heart. I am not a racist man, all right? In my real life, all right, I have a friend, I have many friends that are black, but one of my very, very good friends is a black person, okay? And I don't mean to say this to be like, hey, look at me, I know blacks. I'm saying this because this person has been a friend of mine for 40 years, almost 40 years. Okay? And this person is, taking me to their family reunions. I mean, he's taken me over to family events. He's been very hospitable. His family has been very hospitable. And the reason I bring this up is because these folks aren't your typical ghettofied, embracing gangster culture type of black Americans. There are your average, everyday American folk that just want to go home. They want to raise a family. They want to be, have values. They want to go to church, that sort of thing. But I want to be honest with you folks. I mean, I want to be honest. I can understand why a lot of people are starting to become racist and prejudiced towards black folk. And the reason is because y'all have been here for a long time. I know that black folks want to cry about slavery, and I get it. It was a sad moment in American history. We get it, okay? But the problem is that since then, there has been a plethora of other minority groups that have been as oppressed, if not worse, and for some reason, they have been able to find their own path, find their own way, and stake their own claim without having to resort to my racism, my racism, my racism. And when I look at somebody like LeBron James, who knows that he is influential in not only the urban demographic, but obviously anyone who appreciates basketball who's a young person, and him to cross boundaries and to give his opinion on politics is completely irresponsible. Because first and foremost, lest we forget that LeBron James is an ignorant, stupid, dumb athlete. This is a guy who didn't even go to college. He went right from high school into the NBA. Secondly, every time that he's attempted to articulate his grievance against the president, he has sound ignorant as hell. He has sound ignorant as hell. And you know what black people should be really saying to themselves? Why is this ignorant asshole who's making hundreds of millions of dollars while the rest of us black folk out here are impoverished because of a lot of situations? Instead of telling us racism, my racism, my racism, where is LeBron James cutting checks, going out there helping people in his community? Where is he? Because I sure as hell don't see him. And if we do see him, it's because the NBA is forcing him to. You know, that's a part of the NBA, you know. If you're a part of the NBA, you're forced to give community service so that the NBA can play those little fucking clips in between games that the NBA cares. Look, the NBA was just over there giving computers to children because the NBA cares. That's part of their fucking contract to do, okay? But I have yet to see any of these black folks who are in the most prestigious arenas of American business. I have yet to see any of them, with the exception of a handful, and I'll explain those in a minute, that are actually doing anything for their community. I mean, let's be honest. I mean, LeBron James, where else in the world can you do what you do and make as much money and have as much commercial deals and as much spotlight as you do? Could you do that anywhere else in any other country? No, you can't, LeBron. So how in the hell can you claim that this is a racist country, that this is a racist president, when you are making a fortune playing a silly-ass fucking game? And that goes for the rest of you black folks that are out here playing sports and making a fortune playing a silly-ass game, throwing, passing, and shooting and kicking a fucking ball. Where else can you do that? Where else can you do that shit? You can't! And you know what's even sad about it? I don't know if y'all heard about this Urban Meyer undercover situation. Have y'all heard about this? And let me tell you, Project Veritas, I'm fucking disappointed in you. I want to be honest with you. I mean, I'm not turning my back on you guys. But God, by God, I mean, Urban Meyer, I mean, since when did you people, a political operative group, decide that you're going to go and expose college football all of a sudden? Now, if y'all don't know, the Ohio State coach, Urban Meyer, got in trouble here recently because Project Veritas, which have done some great work in the past, okay? They've done some great political operative work in the past, caught Urban Meyer, the coach of the Ohio State football team, I don't know, roughing up his black players or throwing Gatorade bottles at his blacks or something. I don't know what the hell he's being accused of. But apparently, whatever it is, it's like overdoing hazing, abuse, whatever everybody's interpretation is. But I challenge you this. We all know how black folks are, especially young black folks nowadays. They're being raised by their crazy-ass single black mothers. And, folks, all you have to do is YouTube search Black Woman Goes Crazy and take a look at all the goddamn clips there. All right? I'm just saying. And these are the same black women that are going crazy, that are acting violent, that are getting loud, that are spinning their head, that are snapping their fingers, that are raising these black men. And these black men are getting their violent tendencies, they're getting their confrontational personalities from these single black women. So, you combine that with these brothers now football or basketball stars or whatever sports stars, and these guys think they're special. I mean, just imagine trying to talk to a hotshot black athlete that got a full-fledged scholarship to Ohio State. Are you kidding me? You don't think that Urban Meyer has to deal with, man, fuck you, motherfucker. I do what I want. I'm the best, motherfucker. I'm the best there ever was in this motherfucker. Fuck you, Urban Meyer, nigga. Fuck you, man. Kick your motherfucking ass. And all that shit, right? Well, what Urban Meyer did was he utilized the team as a means of enforcing discipline. Because, I mean, Urban Meyer can't confront these ghetto-fied black folks that mostly come from, your urban demographic, which comprises of a lot of crime, a lot of violence, etc. He can't confront these people by himself. So what does he do as a coach? He uses the team in an attempt to try to discipline this out-of-control, ghetto-fied character. And in the process of that, for whatever reason, Project Veritas caught these, team discipline strategies on camera. And now all of a sudden, these football players that are getting free fucking educations, that are getting free scholarships, and that are probably going to go into the NFL, the XFL, the CFL, the Europe League. I mean, there's so many places for these goddamn people to be employed at. And you mean to tell me that we're supposed to feel bad for them because goddamn Urban Meyer threw fucking Gatorade bottles at them? Get the fuck out of here, man. What is it? Is Urban Meyer racist now? He's fucking racist because he's throwing Gatorade bottles at blacks? Get the fuck out of here, man, all right? I mean, don't y'all remember the last fucking team that Urban Meyer coached? What was it? That fucking, that Florida team, right? The fucking Florida team with Tim Tebow. Tim Tebow was his goddamn quarterback. Did you know that the majority of those folks, the majority of those football players that played around Tim Tebow are either dead or in jail? Did you know that? Huh? Did you know that? Already dead or in jail. So I'm just saying, how are you going to confront this? How are you going to confront somebody who is like, yeah, motherfucker, you don't gonna tell me nothing, Urban Meyer, motherfucker? And by the way, somebody who is trying to relay this stream on Twitch has just been banned from Twitch because they're calling this broadcast a hateful broadcast. Yeah, okay. Fuck you, Twitch, faggots. All right? I hope you all get pause-holed. I've seen TwitchCon. I mean, Jesus Christ, I bet you everybody at TwitchCon farts like this. As opposed to farting like a real man like this. Instead of farting like a real man. Son of a bitch. Anyway, the point I'm trying to make is this. Nowhere in the world can you black folks get free educations, free playing a fucking game and getting paid for it. You wouldn't be able to do this anywhere else in the world except America. So I'm just asking you black folks, what more do you want? What more do you want? I mean, how come we don't see this same type of struggle from the Asian community of America? I think Asians are just as, racially put down as black folk. And yet, you don't see Asians out here conducting themselves at the rate of crime, at the rate of race agitation, at the rate of all this shit. What's going on? How come we don't see this from the Asians? Anyway, folks, I'm just saying this, all right? And by the way, the president, in reference to LeBron James talking garbage to him, he tweeted, and I'm not going to say the tweet, but he degraded LeBron James and Don Lemon, and he said that he liked Mike, right? And then, of course, Michael Jordan, because he's got this new, like, fucking hot tamale little fucking Latin bitch that he just married. Obviously, I guess he's got to be pro-left or pro-Obama or something, and he had to flap his goddamn mealy mouth saying, hey, man, I back up LeBron, baby. You know what I'm saying? I'm Michael Jordan. I back up LeBron, baby. You know what, Michael Jordan? I'm gonna call you out, you sack of shit, all right? Because I remember you back in the 80s, back in the 90s, you didn't do one fucking thing for the black community. As a matter of fact, I remember interviews of NBA players that questioned you about it. That questioned you like, hey, Mike, why don't you go out there? Why don't you go help out? Why don't you go sign some autographs for some kids? Why don't you do something? And you told this player, and I quote, man, that's not what I do, man. I don't do that kind of thing, man. You know what I'm saying? I don't do that. You know what I mean? I don't do that. You know, I'm Michael Jordan, baby. I don't do that. So don't sit here and try to ride your fucking horse as if you're coming up from a high moral perspective. I mean, lest we forget, Michael Jordan, that you're a fucking degenerate gambler. Yeah. And by the way, you want to know why he really retired that first time and went to baseball and shit? It just happened. It just happened to correlate with his dad's carjacking and death. That wasn't the real reason why Michael Jordan fucking retired from basketball and went to baseball. It was because he was such a degenerate gambler, folks. It's alleged that he gambled on his own games. Like a Pete Rose, for fuck's sake. That's Michael Jordan, okay? That's fucking Michael Jordan. So, hey, Mike, if you're going to come up here to the defense of fucking LeBron James, why don't you come up with the truth that you've never lifted a finger for anybody in black America? You care about nobody but yourself. If you don't believe me, why don't you ask your ex-wife? Why don't you ask your ex-wife, Michael Jordan, on whether or not you do everything for yourself and care about anything else? You're a piece of shit. Fucking Michael Jordan trying to come out. Yeah, man, I back up LeBron, baby. You know what I'm saying? I back up LeBron. Just shove it up your fucking hypocritical fucking bald ass, Michael Jordan. You didn't do shit for nobody but yourself. So stop coming up here with your fucking high horse. Piece of crap. And by the way, why is why is LeBron James? Why is LeBron James, first of all, trying to pretend that he's not going bald and drawing his hairline on? And secondly, why is he growing a beard like he's a fucking black Muslim selling bean pies on a fucking corner in South Central somewhere? Huh? I'm serious. This guy's like a fucking black Muslim. I'm just waiting for LeBron James to say, well, Elijah Muhammad said, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, just shut up, you fucking fake. You're fake. You're a fake, ignorant piece of jock shit, LeBron. Stop trying to think that you're anything more. Good God. Anyway, let me move on to another subject matter. All right, let me take a drink of this water here. Anyway, let's talk a little bit about Alex Jones, all right? And I know everybody wants to talk about this because if y'all haven't heard, first Facebook, then Spotify, now YouTube, folks, Alex Jones is being banned from social media. Now, I want to be honest with you, folks. I feel for Alex Jones, don't get me wrong, but yours truly has been banned for years already. I got banned from Gumroad fucking 2 years ago because some poshole faggot from Ireland had a Lucky Charm up his ass and decided to email him and say, oh, he's calling me a poshole and I don't really appreciate it. I'm dying of AIDS. I'm dying of AIDS and I'm a poshole and I don't really appreciate it. Shut up! I've been banned from all kinds of shit. I just got banned in the middle of this fucking broadcast from Twitch. All right? So what, I'm supposed to feel bad that Alex Jones and his $300 million InfoWars operation got banned? Give me a fucking break. I got banned from Gumroad. I've been banned from Commission Junction. I've been banned from Twitter. I've been demonetized from Blog Talk fucking Radio, for Christ's sake. I mean, I could go on and on. All right? But is anybody giving a shit about Ghost? Is anybody giving a shit about True Capitalist Radio? No! No one's giving a shit since I've been banned from all kinds of crap for 2 fucking years. 2 fucking years I've been banned from all kinds of shit. Does anybody care? No! Is there any protest of fucking Twitter, of fucking Facebook, of fucking Blog Talk Radio? No! No, there isn't! So what, I'm supposed to be like, oh man, Alex Jones got banned, baby. We gotta help Alex Jones. Man, fuck Alex Jones, man. Fuck Alex Jones. That son of a bitch has been ripping me off since 2008, and he knows it. He knows it. I'm supposed to feel sorry that this son of a bitch's $300 million operation ain't going to make his YouTube fucking revenue anymore. I'm supposed to feel sorry about that shit. I'm supposed to feel sorry that he's not going to make any goddamn Facebook revenue. Oh, I feel sorry, Alex. Give me a fucking break. And I'm telling you, I don't understand why Alex Jones got so dependent on these goddamn social media anyway. I mean, you all saw me, folks, right when I got banned from all over the place. I got my own fucking website. I got my own stream. All right, and the only social media that I go on to is Gab. Because it's freedom of fucking speech. That's it. I'm not going to sit here and continue to oblige these fucking Silicon Valley oligarchs that are now trying to tell us what is free speech and what isn't. These fucking Silicon Valley oligarchs are now trying to be the overseers of speech for us. You've got to be kidding me, all right? You've got to be kidding me. And I'm going to be honest with you, man, all right? It's not like Alex Jones wasn't warned about this. Back in November, I believe, in 2015, Matt Drudge from the Drudge Report just showed up at the studios of Alex Jones, and Alex Jones couldn't believe it. Alex Jones couldn't believe it, and he put Drudge on the horn. He put him on the air, and it was a speech that I think should have been heard by everybody who produces content on the internet. He was telling everybody who produces content to make your own website, to make your own social media, to make your own internet representation. Not to sit here and to oblige a bunch of internet ghettos. That's what Drudge called it. And that's what Facebook is, according to Drudge. That's what Twitter is. Internet ghettos. Nothing but internet ghettos. And he said that you should emphasize your own website and not be dependent on these people. Because Drudge isn't. Drudge gets 1 billion hits on his website a month, and he's a purely independent operation. And yet, did Alex Jones listen to one shred of advice that Matt Drudge gave him? No. He became dependent on YouTube. That's why, let's be honest, folks, every time he would shit out videos and put on sensational titles and clickbait your ass, he was making money. He was making money on advertising. He was making money on all kinds of stuff. And I'm not hating him for it. What I'm saying is I saw the writing on the wall once they started banning me. You know what, folks? I was banned on Facebook back in 2008. I was banned from Facebook for life because of what I advocated against feminism and communism. You can go back in the archive to listen to that. I was banned from MySpace. I knew this was coming. And by the grace of my own foresight, I made sure that when that day came, I was going to have a website and I was going to have an independent broadcasting operation so they can't take me down. All right? Whether it's the man or a bunch of pawshole, fruit bowl, autistic, fucking safe space cocksuckers, it doesn't matter. This is my operation. All right? This is my operation, and I can say whatever the fuck I want. I'm not sitting here at the behest of a Blog Talk Radio or a Twitter or a goddamn Facebook or anything of that nature. That's why I tell you, all of you that are listening within the sound of my voice, if you're listening to me, you are listening to the underground. You are listening to the underground, and that's why, if you're listening, you probably got a hold of this link from somebody. You probably clicked it from somewhere. Purely organic. That's why I'm calling on all of you. Please spread this link like wildfire, all right? But once again, I'm supposed to care that Alex Jones and his $300 million operation, and let me tell you, folks, he rips me off on a consistent fucking basis and doesn't even give the common courtesy to say, well, you know, I want to say what's going on out there to Ghost from True Capitalist Radio, who's out there doing everything he can to bring down globalism and to promote Donald Trump out there. I want to thank you very much, Ghost. You're kicking gas out there. I'm going to give you a free batch of Super Male Vitality so I can give you the big-ass boner and protect you against the reptilian lizard men and my filters. Not one thanks. Not one. Anyway, we are now in the third and final hour of the True Capitalist Radio broadcast. And, of course, I am your host, the man they call Ghost. And once again, folks, I want to thank you very much for tuning in with me. Before we get started on anything else, like I was just saying, I'd like to remind everybody to please spread this show link around like wildfire and let everybody know that True Capitalist Radio is in effect and in the house, and we are live every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, 6:30 p.m. Central Standard Texas Time, right here on the official website of the True Capitalist Radio broadcast. And like I said, I love being independent now. Type in your browser right now and add to your bookmarks, add to your favorites, ghost.report. All right, it's as simple as that. That's all you have to type in your browser right now, ghost.report. All right? And, by the way, if you have not done so, please follow me on Gab, folks, the last bastion of freedom of speech on the Internet. You can follow me on there under the name Politics Ghost. All one word, no underscores. Politics Ghost is the name to follow. And, by the way, if you want to be a part of the True Capitalist Radio chat room, and I see that there are a couple of people that have signed up to the True Capitalist Radio chat room. I will give you a link right after this broadcast, so bear with us. And by the way, I will be chilling in the chat room, the True Capitalist Radio chat room, right after this broadcast. So if you want to be a part of the True Capitalist Radio chat room, listen closely. All you've got to do is go to my Gab account right now, all right? Go to my Gab! Check out my Gab! Politics Ghost is the name. All right? And once you do that, hit the subscribe button for premium content. All right? Hit the subscribe button for premium content. And once you do that, folks, private message me on Gab and let me know your Discord chat name, and I will give you a private invitation to the True Capitalist Radio chat room. All right? It's that easy. It's that damn easy. Now, with that being said, folks, I do want to remind everybody that we do have merch up for sale. So if y'all are interested in some True Capitalist Radio apparel, if you're interested in some Russian hackers apparel, if you're interested in some Remove Kebab apparel, well then, by God, type this in your browser and add it to your bookmarks right now. Ghost.market. I'm sorry. My bad. Type it in your browser right now, add it to your bookmarks, add it to your favorites, ghost.market. Ghost.market, that's where all the apparel, the merch, all that good stuff is there for all those folks that are interested in any of that apparel there, you'd be supporting the show, and not to mention some pretty good, decent threads, man. You're going to get some goddamn responses for some of the stuff that's being sold there, to say the least. You know what I mean? Oh, man. Anyway, let's continue going, folks. All right, let's go to the next subject matter. I got a lot of things to talk about, man. Did y'all hear that Anonymous, y'all remember the supposed hacking collective Anonymous, vows to take down and expose, quote, QAnon? Are you kidding me? I mean, aren't you a little late, Anonymous? We doxed QAnon a month ago. What the fuck do you think you're gonna do? And by the way, if y'all don't know by now that Anonymous is FBI, then you're a fucking idiot, all right? You're a moron. And let me explain to you why I know that Anonymous and its operations are FBI. Let's go back to the years 2009, 2010, when a little group by the name of lolsec, LULZ-SEC, lolsec decided to cause havoc on the internet by taking down everything from PlayStation's network to all kinds of websites. I mean, it was great at the time, to be honest with you. And believe it or not, the group that comprised of lolsec was an offshoot of the Anonymous Collective. And a lot of these guys, believe it or not, folks, used to kick it in the chat room on the chat room of my show, True Capitalist Radio, back in 2009, 2010. Sabu, Topiary, Barrett Brown, these guys were kicking it in the chat room while at the same time conducting their lolsec digital havoc in 2009, 2010. As a matter of fact, I and a guy by the name of Vince in the Bay, which I'm pretty sure is a leftist faggot now, but Vince in the Bay actually created the Lulz boat. The Lulz boat sign. Y'all remember that? It's the Lulz boat. It's so shocking and new. That was our song. Anyway, the point I'm trying to make is that Sabu, in the middle of all this lolsec hacking, turned state's evidence and became an informant for the FBI. And the reason we knew this is because what Anonymous would like to do back in 2009, 2010, is they would like to call on their Twitter for a mass denial of service attack, and they would use their followers as a means of distributing that denial of service attack. And what they would do is they would leave a link to a program called Low Orbit Ion Cannon. Yeah, okay, they would leave a link to Low Orbit Ion Cannon, or LOC, and people would download it, and the Anonymous Collective, or whoever was running the Anonymous Twitter, would say, hey, input this, input that, and push run, and all these people that Anonymous would get to download this thing and run this Low Orbit Ion Cannon at whatever IP address was screwed, and they were taken down. Now, one time when Anonymous did this, there was a Trojan horse attached to LOC. And once a Trojan horse was attached to LOC, I broadcasted that on True Capitalist Radio at the time, and I said that possibly the lolsec crew was compromised. And it was. And it was. What happened was Sabu, who was the de facto leader of the lolsec group that caused all this havoc, he turned evidence to the FBI and began working for the FBI. And he, in the midst of all this lolsec hacking, was doing hacks directed to him by the FBI. And because he was working with the FBI and exposed the big hackers of Anonymous, he was LOIC, my bad. He exposed every one of the high-end hackers within the Anonymous Collective. Barrett Brown, believe it or not, who he used to be very good friends with, who we all used to talk to in the True Capitalist Radio chat room after the show, he's still in prison. He's still in prison because of the Sabu information and testimony that Sabu conducted. Now, Sabu did not do one shred of fucking time whatsoever when he was the one that directed and led a lot of these lolsec hacks. Instead, not only did he not get time, he became employed by the FBI. That's right, Sabu, the so-called loose leader of the lolsec crew, an offshoot of the Anonymous Collective, sells out all the true hackers of Anonymous and then begins to be employed by the FBI. Yeah, so right now, folks, Anonymous, as you know it, is a pure FBI operation, and the reason I know this is because Sabu, he's out here directing most of this. He's out here directing all this Anonymous bullshit. Okay, and now we've got Anonymous coming out saying that they vow to take down and expose Annan. You're a little late to the fucking party, pal. All right, we did this a month ago, you fucking faggots. All right? I mean, ask around the fucking internet. I mean, all you got to do is Google Capitalist Army QAnon. That's all you got to do. Google Capitalist Army QAnon. We doxed that fucking faggot, and we did it a month ago. Where the fuck is Anonymous coming out and saying,
"Oh, we're gonna take down and expose QAnon, Dad. That's what we're gonna do, Dad."
You ain't gonna do shit, all right? You anonymous idiots, you all are being directed by the FBI, and whatever Anonymous tells you people to do, don't do it. That's all I'm saying. This is an FBI operation, and if you're going to listen to these people, you're an idiot. And this is coming from somebody who knew these people. Somebody who talked to these people. So I'm just saying. Now, those were the days. I know some people in the True Capitalist Radio chat room remember those days.
Those were the days.
Oh, man, it was great. Those were the days. That's right, man. It was dangerous.
It's all right. I'm not dangerous.
Anyway, folks, once again, Anonymous vows to take down and expose QAnon, and even though Capitalist Army did that, we fucking did that fucking a month ago, man. All right, try to do something else to impress us there, Anonymous. Fucking Sabu sellout, fat Puerto Rican bat. That's another reason why I don't like Puerto Ricans. Guess what Sabu was? He was a fucking fat Puerto Rican. And of course, he sold out everybody. He sold out everybody that was supposedly his cyber bro on the internet, saying, "Oh yeah, we're Anonymous, dude. Yeah, dude, Anonymous Collective. Yeah." He fucking sold everybody out like a fucking fat fucking Puerto Rican faggot. So anyway, let me move on. All right, I'm sorry. I don't want to take too much of that. I don't want to take too much time. But once again, I do want to reiterate what I said on Friday. I made a prognostication on Friday that we are going to see the murdering or the killing of journalist or journalists within the next 3 weeks, and they're going to blame it on QAnon. Because, and I told you this on the last show, that's why Huckabee Sanders, when asked about QAnon, she denounced, quote, all violent groups. And, of course, you dumb QAnon faggots are like, "Oh, yeah, she had to, like, hide Q. She's got to hide him so he can take down, so Q can take over the world, dude." Just give me a fucking break. She said that because QAnon, the name QAnon was signed on a note, on a box that was delivered to the headquarters of one Maxine Waters. And on the note on the box, it said, "Hope you enjoy the anthrax, signed QAnon." And, of course, there was no anthrax in the box, but still, I mean, that's why Huckabee Sanders said that, hey, we denounce all violent groups, etc., because they're not stupid about what's about to happen. They know that the left or the Democrats or the deep state are planning for a false flag attack, and that's why I am so certain that I made a prognostication on Friday that there will be a murder or a killing or something very public relating to a journalist or journalists. And they're going to blame it on QAnon. Look, did y'all read this weekend? They're already perpetuating that narrative. They're already pitching the narrative to everybody that, oh, well, Don Lemon got threatened and Brian Settler got threatened and everybody's getting threatened and somebody called C-SPAN saying that they're going to blow my head off and, oh, my God, they're already pushing all this narrative. And did y'all hear? Have you heard the term blood on your hands to Trump by several different people? Remember, I reported on Friday that it was David Gergen that said that Trump would have blood on his hands right after the confrontation with Jim Acosta and Sarah Huckabee Sanders as it pertains to this whole our journalist enemy of the people nonsense. And now you've heard blood on the hands by several people. So I'm telling you this right now, it's going to happen. And for all those that are listening, I mean, if it comes to pass, which it is, does that make me a psychic? Does that make me QAnon? No, it doesn't. I'm making this prediction because they're laying down the foundation for it right now. And when they start laying down the foundation for it, you better be waiting for it to happen. You better be waiting. And I'm telling you, it's going to happen. It's going to happen. Mark my words. I said this past Friday. There will be a false flag relating to journalists. Now, according to Black Operation circles, I mean, people have been talking that it could be a potential live on TV event in which journalists are shot on live television to shock America. And what is it going to do? It's obviously going to turn everybody against Trump because, oh, it's those QAnon people, the conspiracy theorists, those freak shows. Jesus Christ, did you hear Bill Maher make fun of fucking QAnon people? I mean, you know, his end of his monologue on Bill Maher, I mean, this son of a bitch made leftists look like they are the higher mental capacity. They're the higher ground. And I want you to know, did y'all notice that Bill Maher, he wasn't saying things sarcastically. He was saying things blatantly. He said that, oh yeah, thanks to QAnon, Tom Hanks, a pedophile. Steven Spielberg, a pedophile. Everybody in Hollywood, a pedophile. Even made reference to Isaac Cappy and all this shit. And basically says it without any kind of sarcasm. So I just want y'all to just keep that in mind. Just keep that in mind. But also keep in mind that I predict here in the next 3 weeks some kind of false flag against journalists or journalists. And they're going to justify, you know, that, hey, it's crazy Trump supporters. And they're going to justify, you know, oh, gun control. And they're going to justify, oh, we need to curb freedom of speech. And they're going to justify this, man. They're going to justify it. Watch. Mark my words, folks. Mark my words. Anyway, let me move on to another subject matter, folks. Let's talk a little bit about Chirac, baby, Chicago. Did y'all hear? Almost 70 people shot in Chicago on Friday and Saturday night. 12 fatally shot in gun control city, Chicago. Yeah, did y'all know that, Chicago has one of the highest gun control regulations in the nation. The highest gun control regulations in the nation, and yet almost 70 people shot in a 2-day period. 12 fatally. And look, this is out of a U.S. city. This is not out of Iraq or Kabul here. This is out of an American city that is ran by a Democratic mayor. The mayor of Chicago is none other than Rahm Emanuel. Y'all remember Rahm Emanuel, right? He was the chief of staff of Obama's first term. Y'all remember Rahm Emanuel, right? It's fucking Rahm Emanuel. He's the goddamn mayor. He was Barack Obama's boy. This is the same guy who thinks he's such a badass that he sent a fish to one of his rivals. I guess this guy's watched too many of the fucking Godfather movies, but he actually did that. Rahm Emanuel, the mayor of Chicago, trying to take a page out of Chicago politics, actually delivered a fish to one of his enemies. Okay? Now, Rahm Emanuel responded to the almost 70 people shot and 12 fatally shot today by saying, quote, "We are better than what we saw." Oh, that's a great response, isn't that? That's a great liberal fucking response right there by Rahm Emanuel, huh? We are better than what we saw. 70 shot, 12 dead, but we're better than we saw, right, Rahm, huh? This goes to show all of you gun regulation pricks. This is the most gun-regulated city in America, and take a look at how many people are dying of gun violence. Do I hear you gun control people talking about this situation in Chicago? No, I don't. I don't. Do I hear you saying anything about the fact that you're having almost 70 people shot dead in a 2-night period when you have gun control out the ass in the city of Chicago? And if you want my personal opinion, folks, Rahm Emanuel is almost on his 3rd term as mayor. And this has been an annual thing for Chicago. People dying, people getting shot. And it's not just gangs, folks. I mean, you have innocent people being shot. You know that I read here recently that most Chicago gangs like shooting in between crowds. Shooting in between crowds to provide cover for themselves. And I personally believe, folks, that Rahm Emanuel gets off on this. Just like most liberals. He gets off on seeing the death and the destruction of human beings. Just take a look at the sick fuck for himself. Now, why do I make this observation? Because, first of all, he doesn't do anything about all the death that's happening in his city. He's not interacting with his city to solve the problem of violent fucking gun crime. He's not doing anything, first and foremost. So that tells me that he likes this. He likes seeing people dead. He likes seeing people suffer. But it makes perfect sense because it seems as if, folks, that he comes from a family who loves to see people suffer. Do you know who his brother is? Yeah, Rahm Emanuel's brother. Rahm Emanuel's brother is Ezekiel Emanuel. Ezekiel Emanuel was none other than the architect to Obamacare. The architect to Obamacare, folks. And guess what? Ever since Obamacare was enacted, take a look at all the sickness that has become prevalent in our society. Take a look at all the cancers and the chemotherapies. And I mean, we have gotten more sick because of Obamacare, folks. I mean, the mortality rate of America has gone down for the past 2 years. That means that the average rate in which Americans live has gone down 2 years in a row. And we're supposed to have Obamacare. This is supposed to be the greatest health care since sliced bread, remember? Folks, ever since Obamacare came into law, all I've seen is people fall dead around me. Fall dead of cancers. People that were just in great shape, nothing wrong with them, have a checkup. Oh, there's something in your body that we need a biopsy for or whatever, and before you know it, these people are told by doctors they need chemotherapy, they need surgery, and folks, they're gone because of the, quote, chemo radiation therapy. I mean, this is more prevalent than I have ever seen in my long life. I have never seen so many people die in such a rapid time in my life. Ever. Ever! Until Barack Obama's little Obamacare became into law. And now you're seeing people getting younger and younger, getting diagnosed with cancers, heart disease, diabetes, you name it, man. I mean, look at all the women, especially. All the women that are under the age of 40 that have had strokes, that have had heart attacks, cancers, etc. I mean, I thought Obamacare was supposed to make us healthy. But instead, it has made us sick, and it's made a lot of us die. And that's Ezekiel Emanuel. because he's the guy who was the architect of the Obamacare little Affordable Care Act, Affordable Care Act. And it seems to me that Ezekiel Emanuel gets off on seeing all these people suffer and die and wither away of cancer and of chemotherapy and all this other nonsense. And I want to reiterate, folks, because that's what liberals like to do. They want to see people suffer. They want to see people suffer because they're suffering. Because they're hurt. I mean, what is that proverbial saying that I've told you? Hurt people hurt people. And they justify hurting others because they were hurt. And that's what I'm seeing from the Emanuel brothers. And that's what I see from most liberals. And if you don't believe me, folks, why don't you take a look at every liberal city that is being controlled by Democrats? Take a look at San Francisco. You can't walk San Francisco streets without stepping in urine or feces. Take a look at Los Angeles. Los Angeles, folks, there's over 45,000 people that are living on the streets in Skid Row, in homeless tents. There are tent cities in Los Angeles. I mean, take a look at every liberal city that you can imagine, folks. You're going to see a certain element of crime, of homelessness, of despair, of desperation, of death, of destruction, etc. And is that what you all want to vote into 2018? Why would anybody vote for this? How can anyone turn a blind eye to the proof that's right in front of your face that these damn Democrats love to see people suffer? They want to see people suffer. They want to. If they didn't, they would be actually producing policies to help people like they claim that they want to, right? I wouldn't be hating on Democrats if they were going and making policies that were helping Americans, helping law-abiding citizens, helping people that belong to this country. But you know as well as I, the only time that the Democrats come out and speak and make these valiant speeches and get in front of the media, etc., is for illegal immigrants and criminals. Oh, yeah, and pedophiles, too. I forgot about those. Oh, they like to justify that baby rape is a joke. In Dan Harmon's case, the creator of Rick and Morty, or the director of the Guardians of the Galaxy, James Gunn, these guys, oh, it's okay to joke about baby rape, but God forbid you make a joke about racial jokes or make a joke about sexualization or sexual orientation. Oh, no, you can't do that. That's hate speech, right? That's hate speech. You can't make a racial joke. You can't make a joke about somebody's sexual orientation, but you can make a joke about fucking baby rape? This is the Democrat mentality. Don't you people understand that? And their actions, the Democrats' actions, the liberal actions speak louder than words. And who are they coming out for? Who are they protesting for? Who are they the most vocal for? Illegal immigrants, criminals, and child molesters. You can't prove me wrong. You can't prove me wrong, damn it. You can't. It's the fucking truth. It's the truth. Give me my goddamn water. You can't. It's the truth. That's what the Democrats stand for. They don't care about law-abiding citizens. On the contrary, they want to take away your Bill of Rights. That's what these Democrats want to do. They want to take away law-abiding citizens' rights, their First Amendment rights, their right of religion, their right to freedom of speech, their Second Amendment rights, the freedom and the right to bear arms. They're trying to take our rights away, and you people are out there being bamboozled by these Democrats? You people are out there being bamboozled by this crap? Wake up! Wake the hell up! I blow my nose on Democrats. Let me blow my nose on some Democrats. Here, eat some snot, Democrats. Piece of crap. Puh, I spit on you people. I spit on you anti-American scum. And you can't deny it. That's what Democrats are. They are anti-American scum. Anyway, folks, sorry about that. I mean, I just want you to understand how much I have an immense hatred for these fucking Democrats, man. They're destroying our country. We have the lowest unemployment in 20 years. Lowest unemployment for blacks and Mexicans in history. Lowest unemployment for women in 60 years. 3.9% unemployment. We're almost at 26,000 point Dow Jones Industrial. The dollar has more value than it's had in the past 25 fucking years. What is your fucking Democrats' problems? The only problem is that you hate this. You hate America, and you want everybody to be dependent on the state, just like they were trying to do during Obama's tenure, and we ain't going back to that shit. We're not going back to that crap. So once again, folks, almost 70 people shot in Chicago, 12 dead in the gun control city of Chicago, huh? The Democrat city. That's what you get when you elect Democrats, folks. I don't give a shit what you try to explain to me. That's what you get. When you elect Democrats, that's what you get. Look at every Democrat city if you don't fucking believe me. Look at every Democrat-run city if you do not believe me. Now, let's get to some international news, shall we? Now, yesterday, folks, Canada began its Boycott America campaign. Did y'all hear about this? Canada thinks it can flex nuts on us, and now it's out here claiming that it's going to boycott American products. You see, I told you people that these Canadians don't care about America. They are a pimple on the ass of America. That's why they talk all kinds of shit in the back of our shoulder, because they know they're never going to get hit up by anybody. They're not going to get hit up anybody because they're going to have to go through us first, unless we allow somebody to hit them up. Now, look, I'm not trying to sound like a sick maniac here, but let's not be naive to think that the 9/11 2001 attacks were spontaneous, okay? I mean, they were very much planned. As a matter of fact, the mayor of San Francisco at the time came out publicly and said that Condoleezza Rice called him herself, saying not to fly on any planes on September 11, 2001. So people were notified. People did know about this attack, etc. Now, why do I bring this up? Well, the day after Canada decides that it is going to implement Boycott America as a campaign, the Saudis, Saudi Arabia, which is now under the direct control of Mohammed bin Salman, Saudi Arabia indirectly threatens Canada. Did y'all hear about this? Saudi Arabia, first of all, has already kicked out the Canadian ambassador in Saudi Arabia after criticizing Saudi's recent woman crackdown. Now, if y'all aren't familiar with the woman crackdown that's happening in Saudi Arabia, Mohammed bin Salman, has been attempting to try to loosen the Islamic rules with women by at least passing that it's okay for them to drive. And because he passed that it's okay for them to drive, a lot of these women took that as an opportunity that it's okay to, dress scantily clad, and they've been doing a lot of stuff. As a matter of fact, when an MMA fight, I think an MMA fight was happening in Saudi Arabia, some woman in Saudi Arabia posted a YouTube video which shows her in very scantily clad leotards doing MMA, which is a complete no-no in the fundamentalist country of Saudi Arabia. Now, the Sauds are cracking down on women because they're getting a little uppity now that they have the right to drive, and the Canadian ambassador criticized the policy of cracking down on women of Saudi Arabia. Now, with that being said, folks, the Saudis really didn't appreciate that, nor did they appreciate, I'm sure, them trying to flex nuts with America, considering that Saudi Arabia owns 70% of America's debt. And that was exposed in a 2016 August Bloomberg article, if y'all are wanting to look up that. But I want to reemphasize again, folks, that Saudi Arabia has indirectly threatened Canada by tweeting out on its state-run media a picture of a plane looking like it is diving in or going into the city of Toronto and the Toronto Tower, that little Toronto Needle Tower, whatever the fuck it's called. Yeah, can you believe that? I'm not kidding around. The state-run media of Saudi Arabia posted a picture of a plane, what looks like about to crash in to the Canadian tower that's in the middle and into Ontario. Or, excuse me, Toronto. So the Toronto Tower, the Toronto skyline. I mean, the Sauds actually posted a pic of an airplane going into the Toronto skyline. And then, as that was tweeted, they realized that, man, maybe we're being a little bit too blatant about this shit, and they took it off. But, folks, this just goes to show you that, I mean, if anything happens again in Canada, especially a big 9/11-like attack, it's not as if they didn't warn us this time, you know? It's not as if they didn't warn us this time. So once again, folks, as the Canadians implement their Boycott America campaign yesterday, Saudi Arabia, you know, they posted a picture. They posted a picture of an airplane looking like it's about to crash into Toronto. And it says, in an Arabic saying in the tweet, it says, "He who interferes with what doesn't concern him finds what doesn't please him." So I'm just saying, you know, you might want to look out Toronto. If you happen to live in Toronto, Canada, you might want to watch out because lest we forget that, 16 of the 19 hijackers of 9/11/2001 were from where? Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia. I'm just saying, I don't think it's a coincidence. I don't think it's a coincidence that Canada over here is going to try to boycott America, and now you've got a little pressure coming in from Saudi. Remember, we're down with Saudi is down with us. All right, we all know this. We all remember when Trump went to Saudi Arabia and had that celebration with the Saudi Arabians out there. They gave him a cruise through Mecca and all that stuff. Y'all remember that? Y'all remember when Donald Trump and Mohammed bin Salman's father and General Sisi were all touching that one little globe that lit up? Come on, we all remember that esoteric spell, baby. Y'all remember that? I'm telling you, man, I don't think it's a coincidence that Trudeau's trying to play hardball with us, and now he's being threatened. And if Trudeau is going to continue on thinking he's going to flex nuts, Toronto, be prepared, baby. That's all I'm saying, all right? All right, I'm just be prepared. That's all I'm saying. Be prepared. Anyway, let me move on to the next subject matter here, folks, okay? Did y'all hear that, we reported last Friday that Venezuela's leader, Nicolas Maduro, denounced the party that he belongs to, their socialist ideas on Venezuela. He called his party's socialist ideas a, quote, failure. Well, you knew he wasn't going to say something like that about his party without his own party trying to take him out. If y'all didn't see, Venezuela's president, Nicolas Maduro, dodged an assassination attempt by drone. By fucking drone. Now, what was happening here is that you had a drone that had some kind of improvised explosive connected to it. And I guess the drone was attempting to get near Nicolas Maduro and detonate, which failed to do so. And as a result, it was a failed assassination attempt. And if you want my personal opinion, I think it was his own party. It was his own party that was trying to remove him. Because lest we forget, folks, what is the alternative? If Nicolas Maduro is saying that his party's socialist ideas were a failure, what's the alternative? I'm serious. What is the alternative? The alternative is capitalism, foreign investment coming into the country of Venezuela, recapitalizing, re-establishing the infrastructure, etc. And that's not what these socialists and communists in the party want. They would rather be the Lord of the Flies than the leaders of a productive capitalist society. And I don't know if y'all seen the goddamn pictures out of Venezuela, folks. It is bad. I mean, I saw a Venezuelan meme showing a Venezuelan shop owner during the prime of the economic productivity of Venezuela. He was fat and his little grocery store was filled with goods. Then they show him after all this Nicolas Maduro socialism, all this shit. They show him, he looks like he lost about 70 pounds because he was fat. Looks like he lost 70 pounds and his goddamn store shelves were empty. I mean, this is what's going on in Venezuela. This is what socialism brings. And that's why I gave props to Nicolas Maduro to say, hey, I mean, it takes a lot of balls, especially for a communist, especially for a socialist, to come and say, look, our goddamn ideas are a failure. We did something wrong. We've got to do something else. It takes a lot of balls to say that. And as a result, I think that that's why Nicolas Maduro was targeted for assassination, because you can't say that to your party. Remember, this is a party that has been in charge since 1999. Okay? I mean, they don't want to let go of power. They don't care how the people are living. They want power. They want to be the elites of the country. So once again, I don't think it's a coincidence that old Nicolas Maduro, targeted for extermination, or I should say assassination, targeted for assassination right after he called socialism a failure. I don't think that's a coincidence at all. Anyway, let me move on to the next subject matter, folks. Did y'all hear about North Korea? North Korea wants the U.S. to drop sanctions to, quote, build trust. Can you believe this? Yeah, they want us to kind of take down the sanctions because apparently, and I was waiting for this. I was waiting for this, for Christ's sake, okay? I was waiting for individuals from the North Korean side to say, hey, look, United States, we've given you a lot. We've signed documents. We've given you the prisoners. We've given you the remnants of veterans from the from the Korean War in the 50s. It's time for you to do something for us at this time, right? So right now, the North Koreans, they want these sanctions to be dropped. All right? They want these sanctions to be dropped because they want to build trust. And I don't blame them. I was waiting. I was waiting for this. Remember, this North Korean denuclearization is a very delicate and a very patient form of diplomacy. I mean, the North Koreans want something in return for the public capitulation to the United States, and you can't blame them. But at the same time, I mean, you can't show that the United States is just bowing down and going to do whatever it is that the North Koreans want. So it's a very sticky, slippery diplomatic slope. But of course, you've got people in the mainstream media that are out here thinking that this isn't going fast enough. You know, that this isn't, you know, whatever. I mean, I'm just simply stating, folks, that, you know, this is going to be a very delicate diplomacy, and I genuinely believe that Kim Jong-un wants a little bit more westernization in his government. The problem is he's got two generations of Uns, or of Kims, I should say. You remember his grandfather Kim Il-sung, his father Kim Jong-il? These people have molded not only the mental capacities of the population, But it has also created a bureaucratic infrastructure that, with all due respect, this bureaucratic infrastructure is massive, especially on the military front. So do you think that these military guys and these people at the higher echelons of the bureaucratic system of North Korea are going to want to see a new system? Absolutely not. Remember, once, and the great Milton Friedman said this. The great Milton Friedman said this, God rest his soul. Milton Friedman said that once you create a bureaucratic government bureaucracy, that it's damn near impossible to get rid of it. Damn near impossible to get rid of it, for Christ's sake. All right? And he's right. I mean, just take a look at this Obamacare situation. Take a look at Social Security. Take a look at Medicaid and Medicare. I mean, I can go on and on. Once a government bureaucracy is created, it's damn near impossible to take it the fuck away. So that's what we're having here in North Korea as far as I'm concerned. I think that North Korea wants to, show a little bit more, wants to denuclearize. But like I said, a thing about Asia and the Asian cultures, honor. Honor is a big deal. A big deal to these people. Honor is like everything to the Asian cultures, and you have to understand how to negotiate and how to maneuver around that, so to speak. All right? Got to be able to, maneuver around that. So don't believe the media that, it doesn't look like, the North Korean diplomacy is working. Because let's be honest, the majority of the mainstream media in America, they want to see the North Korean situation fail. And what kind of an Americanism is that? What kind of leftist America is that they want to see the country fail? I mean, what kind of shit is that? That's why I keep telling you, if you vote for Democrats in 2018, you're anti-American. There's no other way around it. There's no other way around it, for Christ's sake, man. Anyway, let me get to the last subject matter. Look, I'm going to reiterate this again. If you vote Democrat in 2018, then you're pro-illegal immigrant, that you're pro-criminal, and you're pro-pedophile. I mean, that is literally the difference between those of us on the right and those of us on the left. Okay? Those of us on the left, or I should say those of them on the left, they're out there, they want the anti-Americanism to flourish. I mean, if you sit down and talk to these leftists, they'll all tell you that they all want to be like Europe. I want to be like Europe. I think we should be more like Europe. I like Europe. We should be more like Europe. They'll all tell you that, man. And take a look at Europe now. If you want to be like Europe, take a look at Europe now. We were just discussing Europe and how they're being overtaken by a bunch of wild Yehudis, and the men in Europe don't know how to do anything about it because they've been docile with socialism for 20 or 30 years. They don't know how to handle Yehudi-type violence. I mean, on the contrary, it's shocking the bejesus out of them. They don't know how to handle that. Anyway, let me move on to another subject matter. But before I do want to say thanks to the owner of Gab. Let me go ahead and repost this. He's promoting the show here. All right, the owner of Gab, Andrew Torba, promoting True Capitalist Radio. And let me tell you, the reason he's promoting True Capitalist Radio, folks, is because I stuck with Gab. Once they kicked me off Twitter, I said, all right, Poshole, goddamn Jack Dorsey. All right, you want to play that way? You want to play games? Huh? You want to play games? Okay. Say hello to my little friend. And I said, fuck these goddamn Silicon Valley oligarchs in goddamn Silicon Valley. I'm supporting independent internet business, and that's what everybody should be doing out here within the sound of my voice. Everybody should be doing. That's why I encourage you, folks, if you appreciate the content of this broadcast, well, then, by God, if you can't buy merch, if you can't purchase autographs when they're out or whatever the case might be, then, by God, take a look at the cryptocurrency wishing well. Take a look at the cryptocurrency wishing well and give whatever you can, man. Throw some cryptocurrency in there and make a wish and I'll make sure that all of your wishes will come true, okay? And by the way, you'll be supporting the show. I mean, take a look at what's happening to Alex Jones, baby. They're coming after us all. They came after me first. Now they're coming after all of us. That's why, if you're listening to somebody and you truly appreciate their content, then it's about you to support them, man. It's up to you to sustain their continuity. Don't just stand there, all right? Don't just sit on the sidelines. Get on the front lines, and the front lines are not only outside your door, but they're on the fiber optically connected world we call the internet. That's it. Fiber optically connected world we call the internet, for Christ's sake. And that's why I'm encouraging all of you. All right? I mean, support the broadcast, and if you're not going to support this broadcast, then why even listen to it? I mean, we can't continue to go through the advertising model. Because if we keep depending on advertising to provide shows like this for free, then the advertisers become the dictators of the content. The advertisers become the dictators of the content, and that's not what we want. We want the content creators to be the content creators, not those that are advertising on the content. So if you want content creators to be the focal point of their own content, then support. Support it, baby. Support it. Take a look at the cryptocurrency wishing well, man. Support it. Anything helps. Anything helps, for Christ's sake. Anyway, last but not least, let's get to the last subject matter, and let's talk a little bit about Russia here. Hold on, let me take another sip of this water. Now let's talk about Russia. Now, did you all hear that NATO wants Georgia, the country of Georgia, to be admitted as one of its member states? Now, I think it's a bad idea, first and foremost. I think it was a majorly bad idea to begin with to let Turkey into NATO. Like, that wasn't bad enough, right? I mean, Turkey's now doing fucking arms deals with Russia when the whole point of NATO was to protect the NATO member states from Russia in a multilateral warfront capacity. And yet, they allowed Turkey to become a part of NATO, and Turkey is now doing arms deals with Russia, which makes no effing sense. All right? Now they want to add Georgia, the country of Georgia. Now, I think this is a bad idea because, first and foremost, folks, we all know that Georgia was pretty much a similar situation as the Ukraine. Now, we all know that the Ukraine was slowly being taken over politically by Russians that were within the political system of the Ukraine itself. We all remember, I was covering the Ukraine. Y'all remember that? I was saying, free Tymoshenko, free Tymoshenko. Remember the former prime minister of the Ukraine had jailed the previous prime minister, which was a woman, by the name of Tymoshenko, and I was saying, free Tymoshenko, we got to overthrow the Russians. And you know what? The Russians were overthrown. And once the Russians were overthrown out the government, the Russians decided that it was going to invade and take physical control of the geographic area of Crimea. And this is why the United States and all the Western powers have been on a standoff with Russia ever since. Now, Georgia, the country of Georgia, is a similar situation. The only difference is that the country of Georgia is an independent state. The problem is that you have certain regions within Georgia that are pro-Russian, and in 2008, Vladimir Putin recognized these two regions, Abkhazia, or whatever the fuck it's called, and South Ossetia. Ossetia. My bad. South Ossetia. I don't know these fucking names of these stupid fucking cities, but these are the regions, all right? Abkhazia and South Ossetia, the two regions that Vladimir Putin recognized by the separatists as independent provinces. And because Vladimir Putin recognized these two regions as independent provinces, they moved in Russian forces at the time in 2008. Does everybody remember the old 888 invasion by Russia? Well, what ended up happening was, depending on whose story you believe, because we still don't know who started this particular belligerence, but according to the narrative by the mainstream media, we had people within Georgia that were responding to the incursion of Russian forces into these two regions. And as a result, the Russians opened fire on the Georgian army and on the military when attempting to trying to confront these Russian forces in these two regions, Abkhazia and South Ossetia. And as a result, there was a what they call the Russo-Georgian War in 2008. The Russo-Georgian War of 2008. So, with that being said, folks, there's already been dibs by Russia on certain provinces in Georgia, and the whole NATO treaty is as follows. If one NATO nation state is attacked by Russia, then all NATO nation states attack Russia multilaterally. That's how the NATO treaty is compromised, or that's how it's comprised, I should say. And that's how every nation state that belongs to NATO is supposed to be reacted to. So, I mean, even if Turkey was somehow invaded by Russia or hit up by Russia, because they're a part of NATO, we would multilaterally, all NATO nation states, directly military attack Russia. So if they were to add Georgia, the country of Georgia, to NATO, then that means if for whatever reason we have another 888 incident in which the Russians move into the separatist areas to provide them, quote, autonomy, or to provide them to be a part of Russia, then that is, by definition, an invasion of a NATO country, and all NATO nations would have to multilaterally respond. And I think it's a bad fucking idea. It's a bad idea, man. And, by the way, the Russian Prime Minister, y'all remember Medvedev? Medvedev, he used to be the president, now he's the Prime Minister. He says that if NATO does admit Georgia into its alliance, that it could trigger, quote, a terrible conflict. Quote, a terrible conflict. Now, why is it that we all know who comprises NATO? We all know who comprises NATO, folks. It's all European nation states. Mostly a lot of European Union nation states. Why are they trying to agitate the Russian situation? It makes you wonder, right? I mean, are these people wanting a war? That's what I have always alleged. That's what I've always alleged, that Europe, even though they look as though they're against Russia in face value, I personally believe that they're secretly working with Russia. I mean, just take a look at the UK, for instance. Take a look at who was the agent that comprised all the information in the Russia-Trump dossier. Former MI6 Christopher Steele. Intelligence for the UK. And what was Christopher Steele's forte? Russia. So, how did Christopher Steele comprise this Russian dossier using Russian assets if supposedly Russia and Europe are at this Mexican standoff? Because it's a bunch of bullshit, folks. It's a bunch of bullshit. I've always said that I personally believe that Russia is at the bottom of all this New World Order garbage, all this globalist garbage. I hate to hear all these dumbass alt-right white nationalists give Russia so much props as them, you know, oh, Putin, man, Putin, he's a Russian nationalist. Putin is a Russian nationalist, yeah. Oh, yeah? Why does he oblige the UN? Why does he acknowledge the World Court? Why does he acknowledge the International Atomic Energy Agency? How come he acknowledges all these government institutional globalist bureaucracies? How come if he is a Russian nationalist? Bullshit. It's all crap. I mean, lest we forget Angela Merkel, the leader of Germany, lest we forget she was brought up in Eastern Germany. She was pro-Russian. The fuck are you talking about? There are pictures of Angela Merkel in full-fledged Russian garb when this bitch was in her 20s. She was in full-fledged Russian garb. Fucking Angela Merkel. And like I told you in the beginning of this broadcast, the European Union. What was the last country to call itself a union? The Soviet Union. The first communist nation state, for Christ's sake. Is that a coincidence? I think not. So anyway, that's about it. I'm pretty much done with today's Monday broadcast. Man, what a weekend. What a weekend. But either way, I want to thank everybody for tuning in with me on this Monday edition of the True Capitalist Radio broadcast. We covered a lot today. So I hope everybody kind of grasp a little bit of what's going on in the world today by listening to this broadcast. Before I go, I do want to remind everybody that this show is purely spread based on organic spreading, like individuals going out there and posting the link on forum posts, on chat rooms, on social media sites, etc. So I strongly advise you to please spread this show link around like wildfire. All right? And let everybody know that True Capitalist Radio is in effect and in the house. And we are live every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, 6:30 p.m. Central Standard Texas Time, right here on the official website of the True Capitalist Radio broadcast. And I love being independent now. That's right, folks. Type in your browser right now and add to your bookmarks ghost.report. All right, that's the official website of the True Capitalist Radio broadcast. It's ghost.report. And by the way, I want to say what's going on to the True Capitalist Radio chat room, baby. I'm going right into the True Capitalist Radio chat room. I'm going to take a break, though, right after the show. I'm going to take a break for about 20 minutes, and then I will be in the True Capitalist Radio chat room, chilling, kicking back. I see that there's already a couple of you that have already purchased a spot in the True Capitalist Radio chat room. And if you want to be a part of it, then listen closely. It's as easy as this. Listen closely. All you've got to do is go to my Gab account right now, Politics Ghost, all one word, no underscores, Politics Ghost, and hit the subscribe button for premium content, all right? Click that subscribe button for premium content, and once you do, please give me a private message on Gab. Give me a private message on Gab and let me know your Discord chat name, and I will give you a private invitation to the True Capitalist Radio broadcast chat room. It's that damn simple. All right? And by the way, not only will you be supporting the broadcast, but you're going to be conducting all the internet tomfoolery that we conduct in this goddamn chat room, baby. You all heard the beginning of the show, right? You all heard the beginning of the show? Just imagine being there and watching this shit, man. I mean, it's fucking unbelievable. It's fucking lousy. It's fucking like what? It's all kinds of shit. You can't buy this kind of entertainment on television. Ask anybody who's a part of the True Capitalist Radio chat room, man. I'm not even joking. So what are you waiting for? Come on down. Go to my Gab. Go to my Gab. Check out my Gab. Politics Ghost. All one word, no underscores, and hit the subscribe button for premium content, all right? Hit the subscribe button for premium content, and like I said, give me a private message after you do that. Let me know your Discord chat name, and I'll private message you back with a private invitation to the True Capitalist Radio chat room. All right. Anyway, folks, before I leave, I also want to tell everybody, please support the True Capitalist Radio chat room via the cryptocurrency wishing well, okay? Because believe me, I mean, I have been afflicted with this whole banning, censorship shit for the past 3 years. 2 or 3 years already. 2 or 3 years. And that's why we need support from individuals who appreciate the content of this broadcast. Because if we aren't supported by you folks, then the sustenance and the continuity of this broadcast would cease to exist. And let me tell you, they're trying to ban us, they're trying to stop us. But like I said, man, I was ready for it. Didn't y'all remember? Y'all remember when I said it? I was ready for this. I was ready to get my own independent website. I was ready to get my own independent goddamn stream. And that's what I'm doing here. And if you like the content of this broadcast, then by God, support it. Anyway, I'm getting the hell out of here for this Monday, episode number 601. This is August 6, 2008, and I hope that you had a pleasant broadcast with me. I will be back Wednesday, 6:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. You better be here, and make sure to spread it all over the internet and throughout the world! Throughout the world! And let them know where we're at, baby, all right? I'm getting the hell out of here. I'll be here Wednesday. You better be here, too. I'm out of here. Long live the capitalist army, and death to feminism, death to socialism, and death to communism. Do you understand me? You communists are sub-fucking-human. You leftists are sub-fucking-human. It's all about capitalism. Do you understand me? Give me capitalism or give me death. Capitalism to the soul, to the bullet hole, and don't you ever forget it. I'm out of here.